Get 'em Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, February 23rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. An absolutely packed show here today. Huge, huge show. Big NHL card, big NBA card, big NCAA basketball card. We have our first NCAA basketball game popping off in 57 minutes. I've capped it and doubled up on it. The market didn't all correlate. I just felt strongly about it. We'll see how that bangs out. But I'm excited. We're going to move fast. We're going to move quick. The 4-show winning streak came to a halt last night. 1-3 in college basketball. Should have stuck with the double up in Kennesaw State, but whatever. Providence, UConn under 142.5 was poor. Temple, Cincinnati first half under 66. I get the idea, but lost that by 5 points. North Carolina first half, they were absolutely atrocious. And they still won the game, but it was just horrid to watch. Kennesaw State first half minus 1.5 was an easy casher. They cashed the full game. They cashed both. That cap was good, but why? I don't know why I was afraid to bet LSU. It's easy to say, LSU or no bet, but I'm afraid to bet LSU. I mean, it's just pretty aggravating to watch LSU comfortably win that whole game and not be on them. Hard to catch a falling knife, which is what we're trying to do there with them on that 14-game losing streak. But should have been done. 2-2 in NHL, and the reason why I had the slightest profit was because of listening, and we talk about what Peter Loshak has taught us over the years, is how important it is to listen. We were breaking that game down together, and as we broke it down, I was on Coyotes first period, but the cap, especially with the Coyotes not allowing a goal in their last 4 home first periods, the cap was the first period under 1.5 was the right play, right? Was the right bet. I needed, and LJ was on it. And I said it. I'm like, I think LJ probably has a better bet than I do. Thankfully, I moved on it at plus 120. And it was a night changer. Stars team total under 4. Watching Chicago come back on them was shocking. So I lost to Chicago Dallas under 6, but up 0.1 units. But winning streak comes to an end. We start another one right now, and we got a ton of work to do. Sammy Calmer getting us started. He's big on the Thunder plus 2.5 and the Sixers minus 3.5. I made 4 bets in NHL. The double up in that noon game that we're going to talk about here in a second in the Summit League. And then I've not moved on NBA, but Billy Brisbane is going to start rocking with us on Thursdays. With NBA, I try very hard to have a capper joining us on the show that's not on our NBA pop-up. And Brizzy is not on Thursdays, NBA pop-up. So I was like, let's get him rolling with us. And we saw how great he was through the NFL season, and we know what kind of capper he is with basketball, and he caps it very different than a lot of us, with a focus on player props. So he's going to be joining us now on Thursdays. He will be rejoining Betting with the Bag. He's made many appearances over the years, but he'll be joining us now on Thursdays. That is the situation. Then we have Conor Mac in NCAA basketball. Again, in the video description, it has our complete schedule in order of how we're going to bang these games out. Shout out to Real Deal Prime, says Sabres tonight. Says, I'll be back in 2 hours. Enjoy the show. Much love to you, Real Deal Prime. Viper NB. There's Swiss Horton in the house. Says, how does a team like Dallas Stars lose to the Blackhawks? They're missing. They're a bunch of fucking tin men. Oh, that was too early for this swear, right? That's 6 months in. They're tin men. They're a bunch of tin men. And there's no wizard that's going to give them a heart. I could say horrible things about the Dallas Stars, but I won't because I think we have to go 8 minutes without swearing, and I screwed that up. But I'm thinking horrifying things about Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin. And it was Ben and Seguin were playing okay. What's funny about Dallas is that when I was like, oh, man, it was 2-0 after the first. And I was like, wow, who would have thought there'd be 2-0 after the first without that Rupi, Hintz, Pavelski, Robertson line doing anything? Robertson scored the third goal. But when that line's not scoring, a bunch of tin men. And that's the nicest way I can say it. Because I'm thinking, okay, let's just say, folks, J-Dub, Brian Watson, Lucas Ryan. There's Nuke Worker in the houses. LSU +2 is money. Oh, Nuke, you nailed that one, man. I should have been with you on that one. I'd feel quite a bit better if I was on that one. Jason Turgi ready to get to work. Christopher Comentini, Brian Watson ready to eat. What up, Brian, my man? We got a great group here. Nut Flush Allen. See, Nut Flush Allen's a team total under 3.5 plus 142. Nut Flush Allen is making these spectacular bets through, he's just such a hell of a capper. You must follow him on Twitter at Nutflush Allen. That was a thing of beauty, Mike. A thing of absolute beauty. I had the team total under 4 minus 123. Pales in comparison to a plus 140 or 142 or whatever you got that at. Very, very good work. Kadesh in the house. Sean Sullivan liking Penn State plus 2.5. Cavs money line. Kraken plus 1.5. And UCLA. Let's copy and paste that here so I can discuss all of these things. Rocco Rogers ready to go. Dan Kelly says that Spurs Dallas total moved up big. There's Clint Stardy, diehard MMA podcast, said, good morning, low baggers. Kylie's ruined me having an epic night. Went 4-2 in NHL. I love that. There's LJ. The Trill OG play of the day is on the Thunder +2. Thunder and Jazz facing each other here. Very similar records. With a bunch of teams trying to get into that playing game. Big, very lot of traffic in that those standings there from the 3rd seed up to the Lakers at 13th seed. Nasty Nate says 27 days till I'm sipping something at Southtown 101. God, I can't wait, Nate. I can't wait. We also we have a video that's debuting today. A video debut that we're all really, really excited about, that you are part of, Nasty Nate. It's just a little peek of what's in store when you come down to Palooza. But there's our Palooza 2 schedule. And please sign up for events. We need to know who's in events. We know, like the poker tournament, for instance. We know that we're going to have over 40. We're trying to limit it at 40. So certain things like that, we need to know who's going to be around for it. But I can't wait, Nate. I can't wait. RVD 420 series business. Alex Ramirez. Kadesh is leading Pistons as well. Already beat them twice. The Magic heavily juiced. DC Capper coming off a 3-0 sweep. I love that. Rocco Rogers, official period parlay. Tampa Bay Buffalo first period over 1.5. Edmonton and Pittsburgh full game over 5.5. And Sammy Comer saying it's pretty telling. It is, but it's not. It doesn't all work. It's not all, and that's why I'm a little surprised that I doubled up on it. I think I don't know. I was a little surprised that I doubled up on it. I probably should have just had one unit on it, but whatever. Rocco Rogers says that Vemelka saves was too easy. That was a thing of beauty. Swiss Horton looking at live Euro Cup women's. Eliezer Ramla money line, and I love it. So Kadesh, Swiss, Billy, Kadesh saying staying away from OKC. 0-7 last 7 matchups against the Jazz and 2-8 in the last 10 matchups. So we're going to hammer this. Lucci Mello ready to get to work. There's Lee Davis saying Hawks having a hell of a week. They sure are. You know who is? It's Patrick Kane. And if I do not want to see him in the Boston Bruins uniform, God, please, God, no. But, that slap shot he scored that wasn't counted, at the end of overtime, 2 nights ago, that was just spectacular. I mean, how many players in the NHL can do that? I mean, like, I saw that and I was thinking, like, who does that remind you of? Is it Pavel Bure? I mean, Kane probably looked nicer doing it. Kane's hot right now. I mean, those were 2 easy goals, but you got to be in the right place at the right time and stick on the ice and, put it upstairs where Grandma hides the peanut butter. Lee Davis in the house. North Ender, Ricardo Roberts. We got a great group. Vaughn Polo hit the Blackhawks last night. I love that. Okay, Swiss Horton, my Nuggets hat. They're reminding him that's the chicken nuggets are being offered at Swiss Chalet. I like that. Markel says Bruins minus 2.5 and Oilers money line. Ron Crawford, NHL spreadsheet play of the day is Boston in regulation. Boston in regulation. Thank you for sharing that with us, Ron. Mr. Gogster ready to fire away here with us. So I just got to speed this up a little bit to make sure that we have so many games. And this opening is taking too long. Where's that Bruins game here so I can discuss it? Is it the first game off the hop? No, because I'm already on that one. I bet the Jackets. Give me a second here. Or maybe he's saying that he cashed. Oh, yes, it is against the Kraken. There we go. All right, there we go. And Ron Crawford spreadsheet play day. So a ton of people looking at OKC. Wow. A lot of heavyweights on the Thunder. Wow. All right, Dan Kelly looking at Celtics first quarter, maybe. Kong's Clips already moved on North Dakota -3. I love that. We're going to talk about that here in a second. And let's get to work. Dan Kelly says, one of the many ways I sort my databases by season strength of team. Bottom teams at home in the first game after the All-Star break playing a good team is a strong first quarter bet against. Bottom teams at home in the first game after an All-Star break playing a good team is a strong first quarter bet against. Very, 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 very strong, he says. So that's extremely important. So, and that's why he's looking at Celtics first quarter. So again, bottom teams at home in the first game back after that's interesting. Very interesting. I remember thinking that Pop would have the Spurs ready to go at the beginning of the year. And I bet on them in the first game and first quarter. And I believe they definitely lost the first quarter. They lost my bet, but they went 5-2. No help to my bankroll over their first games. That's very interesting. Okay, there's Ick Schnizzle in the house. His Magic Pistons. Yes, it's a bum fight. Last time they played, those bums literally fought each other. There he is. And Ick Schnizzle is leaning Pelicans. He's on the Celtics. Pacers over 232.5, and he's on the Magic. Okay, so we're gonna get. I know everybody's just very excited about NBA. I'm excited to work with Brizzy and get back in action. Yes, Latsy, Ryan Johansson out for 12 weeks for the Predators. I moved on the Sharks at plus 105. Ryan Johansson. Looking forward to see that rehab. This guy just can't count on him for anything. An effort, you can't count on him. Okay, let's get to work here. Kong's Clips looking at San Antonio plus 4.5 first quarter. Let's get into this NCAA basketball game. Quickly here, it pops off in 46 minutes. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow, which I was paying close attention to. I don't know why it's gone here. Let's see if I can get it back up here. But let's move on to this spot. So 12 p.m. Eastern, we got Summit action to help us get through our day. Western Illinois Leathernecks. The Leathernecks. 15-12, 8-8 in the Summit. At North Dakota Fighting Hawks, 11-18, 5-11 in the Summit. We're in the Betty Engelstad Sioux Center in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Start with the line history here. Oh, yeah. Yes. That's what I wanted to see. In fact, after I bet it, there was movement, with him about 20, 25 minutes after I bet it back towards Western Illinois. And I was like, did I mess this up? Pinnacle's moved it to 4.5 now. Oh, I love seeing that. Love seeing that. Early morning double up. Love seeing that shit. BetOnline has not done that. BetOnline has got the North Dakota 3.5. Other books have 4. I love seeing Pinnacle moving it to 4.5. That is wonderful. Totals wise, over at BetOnline, it's opened up at 145. It's shot all the way up to 149. That surprises me a little bit for a 12 p.m. game, but there is that line history. Let's go into the cash flow, and I imagine there's going to have been more buyback fading the Leathernecks on the Fighting Hawks, and there is. So it's 52% and 51% now in North Dakota. This got pretty bad at one point. When I got nervous after I bet it. This was 56% of the tickets and 41% of the cash, on North Dakota. And I was like, God, why did I double up? 79% of tickets, 97% cash on the over in this spot. I love seeing that, Sammy Calmer. Billy Friedrich. Okay, so and Kong's Clip says Kong smash play, North Dakota -3. Oh, and it's just moved back to 4. Okay, so it's moving all around. But let's just discuss it quickly here. Western Illinois comes in off their third straight win. Right? Why do I have it as a loss? Sorry, I was moving so fast this morning with all these games. Let me just make sure I'm not giving wrong information here. I'm gonna double check this. and so many games capped. Everything kind of falling into one. And last thing I want to do is give you a wrong information. So let's move here and make sure I got this right. Yes, okay, it was right. So these are just two teams moving in completely opposite directions. Western Illinois coming off their third straight loss, 82-69 at St. Thomas, Minnesota on Saturday, while North Dakota is playing their best ball of the season. They answered a 4-game losing streak by winning 4 of 5. They come in off an 81-73 win at Kansas City as 3.5-point dogs, and they lost at Western Illinois as 6.5-point dogs on January 23rd. That game was a nuts. In that game, senior guard Trenton Masser went bananas. He went 16 of 21 from the field, 9 of 12 from 3, and put up 46 points. Western Illinois shot 66% from the field and 55.6% from 3 in that win. You want to make it more difficult for them? Get them out of their home arena, get them out into Grand Forks, and have them start a game at 12 p.m. Eastern. When the games start this early, I always feel like it's beneficial for the home team. We cashed with Brooklyn Terriers, St. Mary's Brooklyn Terriers. We cashed with them very comfortably at a very early game at home. It's much easier for the home team. So I have moved on North Dakota Fighting Hawks, and I doubled up. I got the first half -2 at -105. I got the full game -3.5 at -110, and I fired away. I fired away. I'm happy that money's coming in on North Dakota. I believe it is the spot. And Sammy Comer says North Dakota 26th in 3 points made per game. And they just watched, Western Illinois senior guard, comfortably place his ball sack in the mouth of the Fighting Hawks. So I dare Master to do it again. I dare Master to do it again. And I think that I think North Dakota's in business here. First half, full game. I moved on both. All right, that is the first game here on the board, but we're going to move on. Dan Kelly says, as an ex-Marine, I could never bet against Western Illinois. When the Marines were on the U.S. Navy ships fighting hand-to-hand, ship-to-ship combat, they'd wrap a piece of leather around it. Oh, that's good, because it's good that you continue this. Protected from blows of the Libyan pirate Sabres they were trying to subdue to the shores of Tripoli. Look at that, Dan. That's wonderful stuff. Ex-Marine Dan Kelly. We also have Jimmy Gomez, who runs with us, who was in the Army. A lot of love there. I moved on North Dakota first half and full game. North Dakota first half and full game. All right, let's move into NHL and bring on your next guest. Your next guest has an average line of +120 on this show. It is wild watching him and tracking his record. And for reasons that, maybe it's just a fluke. I don't know if the sample size is enough, but he has had a much, much better record working with me on our Thursday shows than he has on the Tuesday shows with Pistol Pete Loshak. And it's becoming dramatic. And I don't want it to get in his head too much. But here on our Thursday shows, he's heavily in the black, and it's the opposite on the Tuesday shows. So this is where he fires away and he cashes, is with us on Thursdays. Overall, he's down 2.47 units on the year. Nothing wrong with that. 277 bets in, ROI -0.86%. But I know he's a very competitive guy and he wants to win badly. And I know he's going to get in the black here. So please welcome to the show, the pride of Belleville, Ontario, Mr. Gogster. In the house. Gogster, how are you?
Hey, Jim, what's going on? Thanks for the intro there, brother. Yeah, coming in hot today. Want some winners, itching for some winners. I didn't. The fact I'm in the net -2. I don't like that, guys. Want to be in the black for you. But yeah, I got my ass kicked. Got my arse kicked last Tuesday with Pistols. So coming back with a vengeance at this show, Pete, or this show, Jim.
I love it. There's my guy Machiavelli. He is our lawyer, our low bag lawyer. If anybody needs
Machiavelli,
it is Machiavelli. I've got to hang out with him in Vegas, and hopefully he can bring that the truck he's got, man. It makes you want to go back to school, become a lawyer. It's just thing of beauty. He says, great call in the Red Wings, sitting in Victorville Court DA negotiation room, listening to the show. We are in the desert, but it's snowing. Love to you, Machiavelli. All right, let's get to work. Mr. Gogster, I've moved on 4 games in NHL, and we got to be quick. We got to be tight. We got to work. We got to move briskly. Jose, can you be in touch with Brizzy for the timeline for when he's going to be on for the show? As you'll see where we're at, Jose. That would be very helpful. All right, let's get to work. Minnesota Wild, 31-21-5, 12-11-3 on the road to the Columbus Blue Jackets, 18-34-5, 12-17-2 at home. We're at Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Both goaltending situations are kind of in flux, not really with Columbus. Joonas Korpisalo has completely outplayed Merzlikins.
Yes.
We must expect that Korpisalo will be in net here. 10-10-3, 3.14 goals against average, .913 save percentage. And the same things happened in Minnesota. Philip Gustafsson at $750,000 per year has completely outplayed Marc-Andre Fleury. Imagine, it's funny watching Guerin traverse his way as a general manager here, because I just see mistakes littered all over the place. And one of them was Marc-Andre Fleury's signing here. 16-13-3, 2.98 goals against average, .901 save percentage, 1 shutout. He's not playing well. Rocco Rogers is on Columbus Blue Jackets at plus 160. I moved on the Columbus Blue Jackets at plus 165. And I didn't move it with a ton of confidence. I just felt like the implied probability made a lot of sense to me. And we'll go into that here in a little bit. Sorry, I've got all these notes here, and I still have the. Whenever I need to take a break, a break from, I study the rosters in NBA Jam because we're taking it seriously. We're taking it really seriously, and I study the rosters, and I've become very high on the Miami Heat roster. Glenn Rice, Minor.
What system are we playing on?
Super Nintendo. Okay, let's get to work. That's a Minor. Glenn Rice hitting threes on the outside. Okay, sorry, that's just up here in my notes. I digress. Let's go. Wild come in. Okay, first off, Minnesota 5-4-1 over their past. Yeah, Christopher Company. Sonics roster is. Sonics are a good team. Just working. There's we can talk NBA Jam later, but there's a lot of strategy in NBA Jam, and there's a lot of skill used in Tournament Edition NBA Jam. When there's no computer assist, but.
One game, I can't remember what it was called. It was one of those dunk ones. Anyway, let's stick to the hockey.
Minnesota 5-4-1, 21.2% power play, 96.2% penalty killing. Columbus 4-4-2, 17.9% power play, 75% penalty killing. Wild coming off their 3rd straight win, 2-1 at home over the Kings on Tuesday night. But they've lost 5 straight road games. And in those road games, they've been outscored 21-10. And you're going to give me the Jackets at plus 160. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. Minnesota missing Marcus Foligno. He's hoping to play either here or against Toronto on Friday. So this is the first of a back-to-back, for Minnesota, an important back-to-back. Picks from Dave looking at the under. Foligno's missed 4 straight games, and he looked awful in the 14. He hadn't scored a goal in 14 games before he got hurt. He had only 2 assists, and that's 15 minutes of ice time. Now, he's a big, tough player, and I would love him on any hockey team. So if they want to get rid of him, I hope the Canucks can bring in some truculence and bring him over. Jackets had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 3-2 overtime loss at Arizona on Sunday. Johnny Hockey's missed the last 2 games. Hopes to return to the lineup tonight. I'm not sure if he will. He leads the Blue Jackets with 52 points in 55 games. Marchenko is the one who's being replacing him. Vladislav Gavrikov, the defenseman, is being held out in an effort to trade him. Let's take a quick look at the line history for this one and then hear what Goldster has to say about it. But I did move on the Blue Jackets at a big price. And let's just see what we get here. We have Columbus, Minnesota. Good. A move towards the Jackets. I like seeing that. So I got plus 165. Pinnacle's moved it all the way down to 151. Pinnacle had this at plus 167 at 10:07 in the morning. So in the last hour and 19 minutes, a 17-cent move towards the Blue Jackets. I love that. Totals wise, this opened up at 6 and has moved to 5.5. Those of you who got the 6, great job. I imagine that the Wild will use Gustafsson here in a game where they think they have the best chance of winning, and then use Fleury against the Leafs in a more difficult game. Take it away for us here, Mr. Gogster. Wild Jackets.
See, okay, that's the question.
Oh wow, I'm off. Fleury. It is Fleury. That's why
That's what I have too written down here. I have Fleury, Korpisalo. Now, he hasn't had a win since the break here, guys. Andre Fleury. He's 0-3. He's had 1 quality start in that stretch against Arizona, but lost against Vegas and Colorado. So two tough teams there, Vegas, Colorado. I do think he's going to have a better game. Looking at the trade, though, for Gustafson and Talbot, Jim, holy geez, look at Billy Guerin got the steal there because Talbot hasn't played at all, and they're playing half the guys from Belleville for Ottawa. So Gussie, him going for Toronto, I think that's their better chance, to be honest, for how well he's played. But this spot here for Columbus, they're coming off the loss there, guys, against Arizona on the road. But before that, they had solid wins, and this was with Korpisalo, beat Dallas, Winnipeg, and then beat Toronto, and all those were with Korpisalo, guys. 3 quality starts in a row. All the goals saved above expected are in the plus, which I like to see. No Johnny Hockey possibly too. So I think the under, someone in the chat brought up the under, and that's kind of where I'm looking here, Jim. Not going to do the no goal. I'm going to take the first period under 1.5 plus 110. It was 115, dropped to 110 now. Looking at Minnesota, guys, the last 10 games, they're 2-8, they're 8-2 to the under in the first period away. So slow starting team, coming off that 2-1 win, and you got a goalie here that's got something to prove in Marc-Andre Fleury. So I think this is going to be a lower scoring game, and also with the back-to-back. I think this is a tight game here. Give me the first period under.
I wonder if that total is going to move back up with the Fleury news.
See, I don't necessarily I look at the angle where, as much as he hasn't played as well, but it was against Vegas and Colorado, Jim. I think he can, as well as Columbus has played offensively, defensively, they're Swiss cheese. But I think Fleury here, he's got something to prove. When you have a goalie, something to prove. And he's before the break, guys, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quality starts of 7. So it's not like Fleury's been that bad. It's just Gustafson's been playing better. They've been getting more wins with him. So, and with no Johnny Hockey too, Jimmy, this power play has been nothing.
Johnny's back tonight, being confirmed by Slatsy.
Okay, he is back. Full game under. I'm going to stay off of, but the first period here, guys, 4 of 6. This is going to be 4 games in 6 nights too for Minnesota. So they got a lot of hockey coming up. And then looking at Columbus, they're playing Toronto, they're playing, who do I have here? This is their first game since Sunday against Arizona, guys. So that's a long time off, too, for Columbus. So that's why I'm taking the first period under.
I like it. First period under 1.5 for Mr. Gogster. I'm on the Jackets. I got plus 165. I bet it and tweeted it out, I don't know, 3 hours ago, I'd say, maybe 3.5 hours ago. All right, that's game 1. Let's keep rolling. Mr. Gogster, up next for us is a game I'm very, very interested in. 7 p.m. Eastern, New York Rangers, 33-15-9, 17-5-5 on the road at the Detroit Red Wings. Let's get this over here. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Jose. At Detroit Red Wings, 27-21-8, 14-11-3 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. We have Shesty going up against Husso. That's our expectations right now. Is that what you have, Mr. Gogster?
I got Halak for the Rangers and Husso. So
perfect.
Let's just see. Yeah. All right. I got Shesterkin now. So it's hard to say. Yeah.
I've got Shesterkin here, but he's not playing the way we remember him. 912 save percentage for last year's Vezina Trophy winner. 25-97, 2.59 goals against average, 1 shutout. Husso, 2.90 goals against average, 905 save percentage, 3 shots. He's starting to play well again. So he, it's tough. It's tough being a number 1 goaltender all year. He's starting to step up again. New York 7-1-2 over the past 10, 28% power play, 73.1% penalty killing. Detroit 7-3-0, 26.5% power play, 86.7% penalty killing. They're just a completely different team with Tyler Bertuzzi. I know he's 6'1" and 200 pounds, but he plays like he's 6'4". He plays tough, and I like him a lot. I really
like Marchand. Kind of like Marchand in a way.
Well, he doesn't have the offensive gifts that Marchand has.
He's good, but yeah, he gets those gritty areas in that sense. Like he's not afraid to fight. Like he's a bit of a pest, Bertuzzi.
Oh,
in a sense.
He's a perfect playoff player here. All right, let's take a look at the line history here for this one. I'm really excited about this game, and I bet it, and I'll tell you how in a second here. Rangers opened up minus 152. They got up to minus 164. They're right back at minus 152, right where they started. Totals wise, this opened up at 6, minus 118 to the over. It's now minus 115 to the over. So there's actually been 3 cents of movement back. I don't understand that really. I'm quite confident on my over 6 at minus 120 in this one. The Rangers coming off their second straight loss, 4-1 at home to the Jets on Monday. They lost despite outshooting the Jets 51-21. Look, we see what's happening in Winnipeg. Hellebuck is Hellebuck could take the Jets all the way to the Stanley Cup final. I mean, that's how good he's playing right now. I do not think that's going to happen, but that's how good Hellebuck is playing right now. The Rangers are just a healthy, dangerous group. They're as healthy as they be. They're going to score goals, and they got stymied by the hottest goaltender in the NHL. Red Wings bounced back from their 4-2 loss at Seattle by traveling across the country in a bad spot and winning 3-1 at Washington. The spot had Washington written all over it, even though Ovechkin wasn't there, and we bet on Detroit, and we won with Detroit. The Caps were missing Ovechkin, but it was still an impressive victory. Bertuzzi, as we said, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points in his last 8 games. It's no coincidence that Dylan Larkin's playing his best hockey of the season right beside him. The Wings have won 6 of 7. Take it away. DC Capper says, you want me to put it in chat or wait till whatever you'd prefer, DC Capper. I guess it's probably better to put it when college, but if you're only available now, I can copy and paste it. So whatever is best for you. Paper Chaser says Wings team total over 2.5 and also on the 6. Christopher Comentini says Red Wings back from a long road trip. They are, but they were just in a bad situation against Washington. And that's why I'm not betting the Red Wings. I'm still thinking that the Twine will be tickled. The Twine. Did I say the Twine? The Twine will be tickled. Take it away for us here, Mr. Gogster, Rangers, Red Wings.
Yeah, this is the worst stretch Shesterkin's had in a long time here, guys. All of his goals saved above expected have been the negative. Something to prove, definitely. Halak, I thought we were going to have Halak, but even with Shesterkin having those minus goals saved above expected, they were able to win those games. But the big thing is, reason why Detroit's winning these games too, Jimmy, is look how well Husso's played. 2-1, 5-2, 6-1, 6-5, 5-2, 3-1. He's been playing really good hockey, guys. 5 quality starts of 7 since the break. 5 of 7 goals saved above expected are in the plus. Coming off that long road trip and looking at some stats here for you guys, the last 10, both of these teams are 6-2-2 to the under in the first period. That's home and road splits too, Jimmy. Something to prove with Shesterkin here coming off the road trip. Detroit's playing good hockey, but I think it's the goaltenders that are going to be able to. I don't mind the full game under here too, guys, but I'm going to take another first period under. I think it's the time of the year to start taking some first period unders now, guys. And I got it at plus 125 for this line. Looking at the side, both the road teams have won these last 2 contests this year. Detroit 3-2 on the road, and then the Rangers 8-2. So there's a bit of, I bet you Detroit remembers that 8-2 loss. I actually remember that one. They scored, I think, 4 goals, 3 or 4 in the third, and just destroyed them. But you got Houston playing much better hockey right now, guys. Long road trip. Rangers are one of the tougher defensive teams in the league. Looking at the power plays, they are humming, but I think the goaltenders here, Jimmy, are going to be good enough to steal it early.
Under 1.5 was what? What did you get that at?
Plus 125. I love that number too. 125.
That works really well with Slatsy's trends. Under 9-2-2 in the last 13 meetings, 23-3-3 in the last 29 meetings. My defense to those trends is this is a very different Red Wings team than what we've seen throughout those stats, and even so, this is a very different Rangers team. This Rangers team has so much firepower offensively. So, but I hear, that makes me nervous. Lee Davis said Detroit 1-5 to the under after 3 consecutive road games.
I like this one. Yeah, I really watched that game against Washington, Jim, and he's on his game right now. He's really on his game. And then Shesterkin, he can't slip up. He really has to show up here, and I really think this is going to be a goaltender's kind of game. Give me the under here. First period, I don't mind anyone on the full game either.
All right, let's roll on. I've moved on game 3 as well. 7 p.m. Eastern. LA Kings 32-19-7, 15-10-5 on the road at New Jersey Devils. 37-15-5, 16-11-2 at home. Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. I'm not sure who is going to be in net for the Kings, but I know that it's not going to be a good goaltender. Copley's win-loss record is spectacular. Imagine if he was good. Imagine what he'd have a .930 save percentage. Now they do have problems on defense because they all have right-handed shots. The fact that Rob Blake hasn't fixed that yet is beyond my comprehension. But he hasn't. I've got Johnny Quick listed. I don't expect Johnny Quick in net. Do you expect Johnny Quick in net?
Well, if it's Quick, then I'd be all over the Devils. I'm Phoenix Copley, Jim. 17-4-1-1. He's I don't mind Phoenix Copley. His save percentage is only .904, but
look at his goals against average. I mean, he's just got a good hockey team in front of him. Imagine if he was good.
Yeah, I did a deep dive into his numbers here, and his save percentages since the break, he doesn't have a save percentage below 900. He's had 1 shutout. Goals saved above expected have all been really good. So, compared to Copley and Quick, I think it's night and day. Copley's a much better goalie than Quick. It's a smaller sample size because he came up from the AHL, but from what he's done, Jim, you got to roll with Copley if I'm LA Kings.
I agree, and he's got a chance to be a starting goalie in the NHL right now. Quick has just been god awful, 878 save percentage. The Devils are dealing with injuries in goal, so Vanacek is going to have to play over and over and over again, basically. And he's been great this year, 24-6-3, 2.35 goals against average, 914 save percentage, 2 shutouts. The Kings have a 35.7% power play over their past 10. Kings are playing good hockey, 7-2-1, 84.4% penalty killing. Devils 6-3-1, 19.2% power play, 79.3% penalty killing. I do not believe in the dichotomy between the Devils' home and road splits. I don't believe that is the case. I believe that it will regress to the mean. I believe the Devils will start winning at home and they will start losing on the road. I truly believe that. And the Kings are a good road team. Don't get me wrong. They are a good road team. I took the New Jersey Devils on the -1 line. I took them at +110. I feel like this is an angry Devils team. They had their 2-game winning streak snapped in an embarrassing 5-2 home loss to the Habs on Tuesday night. They're angry. They're an angry group. Vanacek confirmed for the Devils. He was awful last game versus the Habs. 4 goals, 92 shots. He was terrible. He was absolutely terrible. But I think he bounces back. I think the Devils bounce back. Kings had their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 2-1 loss at Minnesota on Tuesday. Let's just quickly take a look at the line history and then hand it over to Mr. Gogster here for this line history. This opened up with the Devils -146. They're now -141. I'd be curious just to see what it did at Bet365. Opened up at -145, has not moved. So back over to Penny for a total. This total opened up at 6.5, juice to the under. There's been a slight move to the over at 6.5, but it's still juice to the under overall. Take it away here for us, Mr. Gogster. Kings at Devils.
Yeah, this game here, guys, goaltending again. I'm going to dive right into the goaltending here and bring up the right tab. And this one here, Jamie Copley and Vanacek. Now, both of these goalies are solid, guys, really, in my opinion here. Quality starts is something I'm starting to look at here, Jimmy. And both goalies, 72% of the time you're getting a quality start from Vanacek, and 75% of the time you're getting a quality start from Copley. So you got Vanacek coming off the loss against Montreal. I expect him to be a lot better here. Goals saved above expected. He's been solid, Jim. That's a stat I'm really going to start to look at because we've got a bigger sample size. Looking at the numbers here too, home and road splits, guys, power play, penalty kill. The penalty kill since January 1st, Jim, that's something I've been looking at kind of last 2 months. 82% for the LA Kings on the road, which is solid. And then you got 91% for the Devils at home. So I kind of lean to another under here. But what I'm going to do here, kind of getting a little cute with it. First period draw is what I'm going to take here, Jim. +175. Something I looked at here. Now the Devils, the home road splits have been crazy, but if you look at the Devils on the road, they've had 16 pushes, Jim. 12 out of what do I have here? 28 games on the road. They've pushed 16 times. At home, they've pushed 12 out of 29, so a little bit less. But with this, the goaltending, I think it should be tight enough early. As the game goes on, I don't know who I lean towards. I do lean towards the Devils, but with both these goalies and their quality starts being as high as they are, one of them can steal this game. And I just got a gut feel here with this one. First period draw, +175.
Slatsy says he read last night Devils dealing with an illness running through their locker room. I don't like that. Gogster, first period draw, +175. Cheshire Cat saying, is this your favorite? Oh, yeah, it's his favorite look on this game for sure. Definitely, if that's what he's...
Yeah, it's a tough game. I didn't want to take another first period under 1.5. I have 3 on the card, but I've already given out 2. But that's kind of where 0-0, maybe a 1-1. I don't think this game's going to be as high scoring. It's also 4 road games in 6 nights here for the Kings. So they're playing a lot of hockey. They got a back-to-back 2 against the Islanders tomorrow. So it's a tough cap.
Well, let's roll on here. We have a very exciting game here. 7 p.m. Eastern. Edmonton Oilers 31-19-8, 17-8-3 on the road. A better road team than a home team so far this year. At Pittsburgh Penguins 27-29, 15-8-4 at home. We're at PPG Arena. PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's go to the line history here. I'm a little surprised that this total is at 7 so comfortably. Me
too.
You're going to have Crosby on McDavid, and Crosby's going to make it as tough on McDavid as he possibly can. And but let's start with the movement here. Opening up Edmonton -103. They're now -107. I don't need at this point, with the investments I've made on Edmonton, with the division and the conference and the cup, I don't really need to bet on them in some of these games here. Starting a road trip, at a pick'em sort of a price. This total opened up at 7, juice to the under. It's now at 7, heavily juiced to the over. I mean, we're talking heavily juiced to the over.
Yari's in it.
Yari's in. I have Yari as listed. Yari and Skinner. Skinner 14-11-4, 2.92 goals against average, 913 save percentage, no shutouts. Halak has been confirmed, by the way. That was a good call there. Yari 16-6-5, 2.67 goals against average, 920 save percentage, one shutout. Edmonton 4-1-5 over their past 10, 35.5% power play, 75.8% penalty killing. Pittsburgh 4-5-1 over the past 10, 24.2% power play, 75.9% penalty killing. Edmonton snapped their 4-game losing streak with a 4-2 win at home over the Flyers on Tuesday. It wasn't as bad of a losing streak as it looked, because their previous 3 losses, 2 of them had come in a shootout and 1 had come in overtime. Mm-hmm. But the victory over the Flyers was an underwhelming performance, a very underwhelming performance. And I did, you don't feel bad for the other side, because this is about making money, and I was on always -1.5, but I did feel that the people who were on the Flyers, there's probably a little unjust result for them. And McDavid, of course, just completely, he took over the game, but the game time goal glanced off of a foot, the winning goal, I should say, glanced in off of a foot, and then the goal to make it 4-2 was empty netter. But he has 800 points now in 545 games. That's the kind of greatness that we're witnessing here right now. He's the 5th player in NHL history to hit 800 points. The fifth fastest to hit 800 points. So in those games, the fastest Gretzky at 352, Lemieux at 410, Bossy at 525, and Peter Stastny, who's just not spoken about enough. The great Peter the Great. 531 games took him to get to 800 points. McDavid leads the NHL in goals, points. He's at 105 points. Pittsburgh comes in off its 3rd loss, 4-2 at home to the Islanders on Monday. They outshot the injury-depleted Islanders 46-32, but to no avail. Petrie is sick. He's day-to-day. He missed practice yesterday. It's important to have him in the lineup because Jan Ruda is out with an upper body injury, and so is Mark Friedman. I feel like this is too high of a total. When we watch what the Oilers do to win on the road, they play good road hockey. I always want, whenever I see a 7, I want to get underneath it. And this is a 7 at plus money. Take it away for us here, Mr. Gogster. Oilers, Penguins.
Yeah, the thing for me, I had Campbell capped here. Now he's been the weaker of the 2 goalies. He didn't play that game against Philly, guys. It was Skinner. So there's a bit of question mark there. But when it comes to the Oilers here, Jim, they're missing some toughness with Kane and Costin I have here out. So Costin, he's just a tough player. He's actually been getting a lot of shots too for this team. Hasn't played a lot, but Kane, on the other hand, you all know Kane. He's a pretty big piece to this team. So you're missing some toughness there, Jim. And then looking at Pittsburgh, Yari, I was checking out Yari's numbers here, and he's not nearly as bad as what you would think. I had originally to be DeSmith, but since Yari's been confirmed, guys, he's been damn good. Like his save percentage, Jim, he against the Devils, the Islanders, and the Hurricanes, he had a little bad stretch there, guys. He had save percentages below 900, but other than that, he's had quality starts left, right, and center. Goals saved above expected have been in the plus, other than that little stretch he had from the 22nd to the 30th. But you know what? I'm taking Pittsburgh here to bounce back. It's going to be the first of 3 games in 4 nights. They're coming off that bad loss 4-2 to the Islanders. Edmonton have Columbus on Saturday, so I think Pittsburgh are going to bounce back here, guys. The line it's been dropping too, but you know what? I got -10. What did I have here? -106. It's at -104 now. So I still expect. You know what, Jim? I'm going to trust when it comes to this goaltending situation. Skinner and Campbell. can't really trust those two goalies. But when you give me Yari, and his numbers actually aren't nearly as bad from when I do a little deep dive there, brother. So yeah, I'm going to take Pittsburgh on the money line here. I think they're going to get it done. This is an important game for them. Some key pieces, in my opinion, for Edmonton are out here on the road. So give me Pittsburgh.
You got it. You got it. I can understand it. Ulysses Hayes liking the same thing. We don't do this generally for NHL, but I'm curious to see what the cash is.
Yeah.
It feels like if you were just a recreational fan, better. You're a fan. You're going to the game or you're watching the game. You would want the over. You'd want to watch offense. That'd be fun. But it's just this. We don't have the cash flow here. 81% of the tickets are on the over. This is just, you're going to give me plus money at an under 7?
The special teams have been all power plays are over 24% on both sides here, Jim. I guess people could be looking into that. Penalty kills are about 80% or below. So if it goes to special teams, you got to expect there to be some power play goals. But with Yari, I think Yari and this Pittsburgh team, I don't want to say they can go on a run, but this is their guy. They know Yari's, just missed the best he could. He was 3 of 5 quality starts since the break. So he did okay, but you know what? Yari's back, and I think they're ready to maybe go on a little run here. So give me them at a nice minus 106.
The Oilers have been playing high-scoring hockey. 8 goals against the Habs combined. These are all combined. 8 with Detroit, 8 with the Rangers, 11 in Colorado. 6 at home. So, okay, I'm not going to – I'll let it go. I don't need to.
Money's moving on Pittsburgh. I just saw it move to 115 at a book here now. 115. So there's only one book here of Bet Rivers minus 104. So I'd maybe jump on that right now, guys. It's just money's coming out on Pittsburgh. All
right. And RVD 420 liking the over 7 as well. Ulysses liking the over. Picks from Dave says everyone wants Pittsburgh to be good so bad. There's a lot of truth to that, because a lot of Crosby fans. But I don't know if I move on the under 7 plus 105, but it sure is appealing. Let's move on. Next ball on the board, 7 p.m. Eastern. Buffalo Sabres 28-23-4, 17-8-2 on the road at Tampa Bay Lightning, 36-17-3, 22-4-2 at home at Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. I have Anderson and Vasilevsky listed. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Buffalo, Mike. Tampa. We have the Lightning opening up at minus 228. They're now minus 212. There's been a move towards the Sabres. Totals wise, it's opened up at 7, minus 120 to the under. That's exactly where it stands right now. 7 minus 120 to the under. Anderson, I'm a fan of him. But he's been good. He's a good backup goaltender. I'm sure this is probably his last year in the league, but 2.79 goals against average, 915 save percentage, 1 shutout. Vasilevsky, 27-14-1, 2.53 goals against average, 919 save percentage, 1 shutout. This is about time when he starts ramping it up. Buffalo 5-4-1 over their past 10, 14.8% power play, but just 65.2% penalty killing over those 10 games. Tampa 6-2-2, 20.6% power play, 88% penalty killing. They're just a professional squad. Sabres had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in an ugly 6-3 loss at home to the Leafs on Tuesday. Shout out to our nut flush Allen. He was on the Leafs minus 1.5 at plus 150. Lightning bounced back. They were down 4-0 after the first period, 5-0 after the second period. Lightning bounced back from losing 2 straight to close out the 4-game road trip by beating up on Anaheim 6-1 at home on Tuesday. And both teams are very healthy. Both teams come in healthy. I've not moved on this one, Mr. Gogster. Have you?
Yeah, I just, this Buffalo team, until they get that penalty kill fixed, they're playing the best power play team in the league here, Jim, with the Tampa Bay Lightning humming at 38%. At home since January 1st, 22%. And then their penalty kill has been 88% last 10 games, 81% at home since January 1st. And then I'm just trying to find a reason to take Buffalo here. But with Vasilevsky going in net, here's another stat for you guys. When they played twice this year, Jim, Elliott was in net for both of those games against the Sabres. And I believe they lost. They did win both of those too. They won 5-3 and 6-5. And that was with Elliott. So they were able to score 5 and 3. Now you got Vasilevsky. It's going to be completely different night and day here. The numbers, I think, moved too. Yeah, it's moved. Actually, it's dropped, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. But with Vasilevsky's confirmed again, you're going to have Comrie. I have Comrie written down here. So it could be either or. Comrie got lit up for 1 game.
If Comrie's in net, then I will have to bet the Lightning. He's that bad.
Yeah, I got to say, I got to bring up Anderson then, Jim. But personally, I don't – him and Quick, they've been in the league for a long time. I don't know. I'll do some more research into Anderson, but I think their goaltending, that's what's going to hold this team back. I want them to make the playoffs there. They're going to be good for the future, but playing this Tampa Bay team with Vasilevsky playing his first game this year against Buffalo guys, it's going to be 4 games in 6 nights for both teams this week. Too many reasons not to take Tampa Bay. So I'm going to put them in a money line parlay with another team coming up here, Jim. I think Tampa Bay get this one done. I do.
Gogster is using the Lightning in a money line parlay, and that's the same thing that Mike M's doing. Says Tampa in a 78-0 spot and a 28-0 spot. Tampa's leg 1 of his parlay. Lee Davis says it looks like it's going to be
with no Vasilevsky too playing those 2 games, Jimmy. They had Elliott and they were able to score, which doesn't surprise me. But with Vasilevsky going, I know they lost 5-3. They looked okay in the 3rd period against Toronto, but Tampa Bay's it's very when your penalty kills below is in the 60s and that's on the road since January 1st, last 10 games. Not enough. I just can't make a case for Buffalo here.
All right, we have to speed this up a little bit. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern, Anaheim Ducks, 17-34-7, 8-18-6 on the road. At the Capitals, 28-25-6, 14-12-3 at home. Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. I have Gibson listed against Kemper. Gibson, 10-23-6, 4.07 goals against average, 8.98. Save percentage, 1 shutout. Kemper, 16-18-4, 2.68 goals against average, 9.13. Save percentage, 5 shutouts.
Lindgren's in.
Oh, Lindgren is in. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. That's very important. Lindgren is in. Ducks coming off their 6th straight loss. It was a very ugly 6-1 setback at Tampa on Tuesday, and they're dealing with a ton of injuries. Still, this line is absolutely ludicrous. Look, I don't care that Ovechkin's coming back. Ovechkin hasn't played in a week, being sobbing and boozing. Now, what? He's going to? Sure, he's going to change the vibe or around in the dressing room, but minus 274 to minus 331. I wish that the Ducks weren't dealing with all these injuries. On defense, Klingberg and Vakanainen are both out with lower body injuries. Then you have Adam Henrique and Troy Terry also on forward out of the lineup. I wish that wasn't the case. I would like to bet the Ducks first period. I don't believe in this fairy tale bullshit. He's going to come back, with his shirt off on his horse like Putin and save the fucking day. Like this is a bad hockey team. And, look, Tom Wilson is a hell of a hockey player, but the Capitals are not a good hockey team. They've lost 5 straight. We've made a lot of money off them losing. They're still missing Carlson and Hagelin. Mantha now is on the injured list this morning with an upper body injury. So take it away, Mr. Gogster. I'd love to bet the Ducks. I'd love to, but I don't want to sit here. It's clearly I don't want anything to do with the Capitals. I don't care that Ovechkin's coming back. Take it away, Gogster.
All right, yeah. So the goaltending, Gibson, man, he's had 30 plus shots against in all the games. He's played like 5 games since the break. Jim, he's faced at least 30 pucks. 50 in 2 games. Like he's been just getting between him and Veg Melka last night. He had 52 against him too. Like it's tough as a goal. Like I played goalie a little bit, Jim, but like just your confidence and you're missing, in my opinion, your best offensive player in Troy Terry. Troy Terry he just kind of keeps the ball rolling for this team. And their power play has been 14% in the last 10 games, 19% on the road, Jim. This team just can't score like they have been. And Gibson's just he's getting way too much rubber faced him against him. I had first period both teams to score. It was plus 180, but I'm not going to play it. It's just I've too many question marks. Lindgren too. When was the last time Lindgren's played? I know he hasn't played that much. Now Kemper hasn't looked that good. He's had 3 save percentages under 900, so better chance probably with Lindgren here. But I don't want anything to do with this line. And I agree with your angle there with Ovechkin. He's been boozing and drinking hard, so. Who knows what he's going to look like coming back? I know I'm always a mess coming to work on Monday. So
Russian machine don't break. You know him. Like I'm not saying he's not going to play well. I mean, the guy is just, he's Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
But still,
the over. See, and Mike M said 11-1 over spot. That's kind of where I think Anaheim should come out. They got to put a good foot forward here one of these games. They've just been getting demolished, Jim, their last few games. But I don't want to take a team just to believe it. Like, look at this. Like they're allowing way too many 6-7-7, 6-4-6. Like it's ugly. So I don't want anything to do with it. I lean to the over. Maybe first period both teams to score.
One team's lost 6 straight. The other team's lost 5 straight. They're getting their leader and captain back in the future. Highest goal scorer in history back.
And they're changing
Say what?
They're changing goaltending too, which
it
helps, with no Kemper, but
I have interest in backing the Ducks. I think that's interesting that Ulysses is looking at the under. I just can't. I just don't think I want to do it.
What about a
bet
plus two? Would you do like a plus 2.5? Is that possible on Anaheim, Jim? Like, is that even like minus 1?
No, because I won't I won't pay a cent of vig on a big dog if I can.
Yeah.
I have done it at minus 105 and minus 110s on the first period plus a half, but I don't want to. I would take the Ducks first period, but then Ovechkin's full of magic. He's just a magical hockey player. I mean, if he was to come back and snipe one 5 minutes in, would that surprise you? Did it surprise you when Stamkos played 5 minutes of Stanley Cup Finals hockey and sniped one top corner and then couldn't play again? I mean, these guys are just.
And he's going for the NHL goal record. So he's probably all he's wanting to do now is just break that record, and then retire. So
Ducks first period, I don't know. Okay, let's move on. We got to speed this up. 8 p.m. Eastern, Vancouver Canucks.
Here we go. There we go.
Garbage franchise. It just sucks so much that I have to talk about. Luke Schenn is now being held out of the lineup. My prediction:
talk it.
Tampa Bay Lightning pick up Luke Schenn. The Leafs should pick up Luke Schenn. I think that he's at his price point.
What is he?
It's tiny. It's hard to imagine a more valuable hockey player, in my estimation, right now. The toughest defender on our team. The only guy that stood up for. We had Good Branson, who everybody thought was a fighter, who just pick and choose when he fought. He never protected anybody. Luke Schenn. What's Quinn Hughes going to do without Luke Schenn protecting him? My favorite player on the Vancouver Canucks, Luke Schenn, is now being held out to be traded. Andrew G says Tampa Bay picks up Schenn and then proceed to beat the Leafs. Ulysses says you're not talking about Taves. I'm thinking because Taves, I don't think we see Taves again play another game in the NHL. That's too bad. But let's go back to this spot.
Don't say that.
This I imagine this is a good gambling situation. I imagine it is. Enterprise Center, St. Louis, Missouri. You have a huge goaltending advantage with St. Louis, and Binnington is bad. That's how horrific Colin Delia is. Delia, I don't know how he's in the NHL. I hope he enjoys it. I hope he likes his bags being carried, because you're going to have to start carrying your own fucking bags, Colin Delia, because you're trash.
I have Artis Silvos possibly going here, Jim.
Silvos, 6th rounder going to take fucking Colin Delia's job. This is just horrific watching these two ass clowns in net. Now, Seelov's, who knows? But even putting him in the fire right now is just not fair to the young man.
How do you say it?
Seelovs. Like Seelovs. Vancouver 3-5-2, 26.7% power play, 61.3% penalty killing over the last 10 games. St. Louis 3-7-0, 12.9% power play, 77.8% penalty killing. Just a trash shit franchise. I mean, Benning is just drank pint glasses of Tijuana tap water and just shat all over our city, and we will stink for years. This stench of Benning is going to last for at least 3 or 4 more years. And now the only hockey player other than JT Miller that has real character in the room is now sitting waiting to be traded. It's just a shit Rutherford. Oh fuck. I'm just so done, man. I never want to watch this hockey team again. I never want to watch them again. I don't ever want to watch Canucks game. That's how I feel. Now, obviously, I'll come back at some point, but I'm not going to watch. And then it probably is going to affect my capping because I can't even talk about them without this fucking rage. Canucks opening up at plus 113 at some books. They opened up at Pinnacle plus 106. They're still there. The total is at 7. It was minus 123 to the under. It's still minus 123 to the under. They opened up their road trip with their 4th loss in 5 games Tuesday night, falling 5-4 in a shootout at Nashville. I'll leave it to the Vancouver Canucks game. The Vancouver Canucks knock out a Vancouver kid, Ryan Johansson, with a broken leg. I mean, it's just Vancouver. We had to go through the Grizzlies. We've gone through the Canucks. It's just.
You got the Whitecaps.
Fuck the Whitecaps. Blues coming off their 3rd straight loss, 4-1 at Carolina on Tuesday. They've been outscored 15-4 over those 3 games. Buchnevich, Neighbors, and Saad out of the lineup. So that's 3 left wingers. And then Torrey Krug day-to-day with a lower body injury. I still think that the forward group for the Canucks is better than the Blues. But the Blues are at home. I mean, I guess I should just take the Blues. I guess I should.
I thought you were going to say the over.
Take it away here for us, Mr. Gogster. I just want to just fucking end the show here. I just hate this shit.
All right, here we go. I'll take the wheel here from Jim. Saad and Buchnevich are looking to be in from what I'm seeing here, Jim. They look like they're going to be back. No Krug, but they were practicing yesterday. So Saad and Buchnevich in. That's just more offense for these guys.
B. Norris says that Buch is out. Do we have Buch in? Do you have that official?
I had them written down that the beat writer was saying they were practicing yesterday, and both of them were on the ice skating, and they're both looking to have a return. There was no Krug on the ice. Krug was not able to skate, so there's no Krug. But I can't find that beat writer I had. But no, I have written down here. I wasn't too banged up at the time. I have Saad Buchnevich back. I actually have. So if they're coming back, what I expect, and you got 2 goaltending here, 2 quality starts in 5 games for Benner, 2 of 5 goals saved above in the plus. So Artis Silvos. Anyway, you know me. Anyway, yeah, I can't pronounce names to save my life. This guy is going to do his best, but with the defense in front of Vancouver, guys, it's so bad, eh? Like I was looking at Ottawa. I think even Ottawa's got a little bit better defense. You know, Jake Sanderson, kind of that's their Quinn Hughes, but just look for goals, Jim. I'm actually going to take. I'm going to do this, guys. I'm going to take both teams to score first period. You know, the amount of the trends for the Vancouver Canucks on the road is it's insane. Here we go. Let's just see their totals here. I'll be quick, I swear. Away they are 16, 4, and 10. So they've only gone under 4 times, Jim. They've gone over or pushed 26. So they're 26 and 4. Holy crow in the first period. So look for both teams to score. I got it at plus 140. Offense back, weak goaltending. And then another thing I'm going to take here, Jim, minus 135. A little bit of juice here. I'm taking Kuzmenko. Our guy Kuzmenko likes to eat bananas and drink Cokes on the bench there. He's been just on fire. The guy's lethal. 2 goals against Nashville, 1 against Philly, one against the Rangers, assist against Detroit. You just need to take him to get a point, Jim, and I think it's going to be a goal fest. Minus 135, him just to score a point, assist or goal. So that line with Kuzmenko, Pettersson, and Bolivier has been just stellar since the signing. So Pettersson, too, he should be good on the board. But the line of Kuzmenko minus 135 to get a point, I got to take that too, Jim. So I got 2 plays on this game.
Looks like he's come out of Tockett's doghouse. He was in it at first and being benched. He's a hell of a player.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's a lesser Kaprizov and not that much lesser. Gogster first period, both teams to score was at what number?
It was at plus 140, and it was plus 130. So I'm kind of surprised that it went up to plus 140. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, guys. This Vancouver team over City.
Andrew G saying Oli was fire in juniors. There's something, and I don't mean to get it's sort of prejudice, but in North America, you get fucking bullied. You get bullied. And to be a defenseman, a North American defenseman, to be able to be an 18, 19, 20-year-old, 21-year-old defenseman in the NHL, you have to be extremely tough. And look at the European defensemen that have shone. I mean, you look at the young guys, you have Hedman and Dahlin. These guys are 6'4", 6'5". You can't, Oli Ulevi's not going to come into North America and step up against these men and not get his fucking ass kicked. And he's going to get his ass kicked and he's going to cower in the corner like the little bitch he is. The one thing I'd say about, sorry, Jim, about Dahlin is like he can hit, he can lay the body. He won't fight. He's not a dirty player though in that sense where he's not going to go around making dirty plays and just kind of run off to the bench. I've seen some players that were like he's laid the body on some players and they don't like it. Hey, that's the new age in hockey. If you hit a guy clean, they'll try and fight you. And I like that he's not in that sense. He shouldn't have to fight. He's their top player. But yeah, you're right. There's a couple European defensemen where European style defense, in my opinion, Jim, it's more finesse, right? Like Carlson and. But look at Borje Salming. You see how many guys he had to fight when he came over?
Yeah,
He was
that's
supposed to set the tone for defensemen. Look, hockey is a tough sport. You got to fight.
from what
But I could sit here all day. I'm so angry all of a sudden. Like I feel like the Blues -1 is the bet that has to take. Andrew G saying Lidstrom finesse, but Lidstrom was tough as nails. Look at the defenseman, the Russian defenseman that came over. You know, I mean, Konstantinov is your perfect example, and heart breaks that he was in that limo accident. Imagine what the Red Wings would have been if he hadn't broken his neck. And Larionov was in that limo too. I mean, God,
like Scotty Stevens, like that's the kind of Canadian North American defense. Like that's what I think of defense, at least even back in the day. Like they're not as much of goal scorers. They're just your typical big, tough defense where the European was back with Solomon. I completely get it. But as the league's gone on, I find it's more like your North American are tougher, where your European are more skilled, finesse. They can still hit you, but they're not as gritty as a North American defenseman, I guess.
Yeah, man. How many fucking Stanley Cups does Jyrke Lume have? Fucking zilch.
Who?
Whatever. Okay. Let's move on. I think the Blues -1 is a bet that's worth making. The Blues at home. Look, if you look at the Blues at home, I was on them against the Devils with confidence, and they beat them 4-2 and played well. Now they're back at home. Now they lost the game after the Devils game. They lose 4-1 at Carolina. This is a much easier spot. Matt Paulin says Blues looking trappy.
Yeah, I'm on the goals, guys. I'm on Kuzo to score a point, and first period both teams to score. But man, we got to speed up here, and I got to get out of this just horrific rage that I feel inside. So let's move on to the next game on the board, 9 p.m. Eastern. This will help. Two teams I despise. Calgary Flames 22-30 and they're not 22-30 and 5. Those are the Canucks records. 27-20 and 11. Yeah. I got Calgary.
I wish they were 22-30 and 5. That would bring a big smile on my face. At the Vegas Golden Knights, 34-18 and 5, 17-13 home at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Brissois, I expect to be in net. Aiden Hill could come back. We don't know if Aiden Hill's going to come back. It's possible that he comes back. But I expect Brissois. Who do you expect to be in net here?
I got Hill, Jim. I expect Hill to be in.
So he's hurt, so is he? So we'll see. Of course, Slatsy. Of course, I can't believe Ghost doesn't know Jyrke Lume. I mean, he passed Doug Lidster as the highest scoring Canucks defenseman of all time.
I guess I'm just saying he's never won a cup. I guess I was like, who?
He was pretty soft. He had a real nice backhand flick out of the zone. Markstrom on the other side, 15, 14, and 7, 2.93 goals against average, 889 save percentage, no shutouts. Calgary 4-4-2 over their past 5, 21.9% power play, 77.4% penalty killing. We're getting into NBA right after this with Billy Brisbane getting Bills. Brizzy going to be joining us. Vegas 5-2-3 over their past 10, 3.8% power play, 78.9% penalty killing, 3.8% power play. Let's take a look at the line history here, and then we'll hand it over to Goldster and then put a bow on. Oh, wait. How is this the last game? I haven't.
2 more.
Oh, shit. We got to speed up way faster. Okay. Because I've got to move on. I've got to look on the last game. Okay. So very quickly here for this one, we have the Flames opening up at +116. They're now +122. From a totals situation, opened up at 6.5, juice to the under. It hasn't moved. It moved 1 cent. Calgary on the second half back-to-back after winning 6-3 to Arizona last night. They've won 2 of 3. The Knights had their 5-game winning streak snapped in a surprise 3-2 shootout loss at Chicago on Tuesday. Mark Stone remains injured. Take it away for us here, Gogster. Flames, Knights.
Yeah, the injury there? I didn't have injury on Hill. Do you want to just go over that really quick, Jim? What did you have on Hill for injury?
Yeah, he's been out now for how many games? Let me just pull it up here.
I had him playing against the Tampa Bay. Then he didn't play last game against the where am I here? What the hell just happened? Against the Chicago. So I think he's been really good, guys. Like if you look at what they've done since the break, they've won 5-1 against the Wild.
But he didn't back up either. He was not dressed because of
he was not dressed. Okay, that's interesting. So. But even so, I haven't seen anything on him being injured or anything like that. So I'm expecting Hill to be back. He's looked really good for this team, guys, since the break. 4-0-1, 4 or 5 quality starts, 4 or 5 above goals saved above expected in the plus. No Stone. Other than no Stone, this team's completely healthy. I'd like to know, Mike M, is this the money line edition, brother? Because this is mine. Moneyline edition, Jimmy, with Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm taking the Vegas Golden Knights here, back-to-back. Calgary, 52 shots against Arizona. I don't know what Arizona was doing, Jimmy. They had 13 or 14 shots. It was insane. They were just pretty much dumping the puck out, and Calgary just throwing it right back in their zone. And Vegemalka got lit up. So I think this is going to be a bit of a letdown here for Calgary. It's going to be tough, much tougher team, especially the defense for Vegas. One of the top five defensive teams in the league, in my opinion. Looking at the power play, it's been weak for Vegas, but I expect that to change, Jimmy. Give me Vegas as a money line addition with the Tampa Bay Lightning guys. You can get that at plus 150. I think it's 153. 153, yeah.
Yeah, it does, Slatsy. It does free up cap space for them, but it really does next year. But yeah, it does. Plus 153 is the parlay. Pick Zombie says too many picks. My 3 picks so far on 9 games. Too many for Pick Zombies.
Right, talking to Goldster here. It's just my style, brother. You know,
no, don't worry. It's all good. It's all good.
I just gotta tell him what I'm all about. He's probably like, "Why is this guy doing it?" It's just
I wouldn't mind if Pick Zombies would slit his groin and blow himself right now. Maybe this is a good time, Pick Zombie. If you could take just a quick break from the show, head over, grab yourself a serrated edge, snap that groin, and blow yourself for 5 to 10 minutes. Then rejoin us for NBA. Let's move on to the final game here on the board for Gogster and I moved on the San Jose Sharks in this one. Predators 27, 22, and 6, 11, 12, and 3 on the road at San Jose Sharks, 18, 29, 11, 6, 14, and 7 at home. SAP Center in San Jose, California. I have Saros versus Reimer. Nashville 6-4-0, 24% power play, 77.8% penalty killing. Sharks 4-4-2, 14.3% power play, 87.1% penalty killing. Sky Dragon says the Flames. I came close to moving on the Flames in the first period of that game. I skipped the game here. I skipped Bruins Kraken. So we'll go back. We'll go back. I'm sorry. I'm a little flustered off the anger. And we got to get an NBA. All right. But I moved on the Sharks here. I moved on the Sharks at plus 105. Sorry, Jose. Thank you for noticing that I skipped the game there. Let's move on here to the Sharks spot. We have here we go. The Sharks opened up as a big dog, a shockingly big dog. I probably should have been aware of this earlier. At some offshores. Pinnacle didn't open up till 8:05 this morning at plus 107. They're now at plus 106. There's been no movement there. Some books did have them at as big as plus 118. From a totals perspective, it's opened up at 6 minus 112 to the over. It's now minus 115 to the over. Predators come in off their second win in 3 games, 5-4 in a shootout over the Canucks on Tuesday night. Ryan Johansson now on the shelf. You have Philip Forsberg on the shelf. Forsberg's missed 5 games. They've looked bad in those 5 games. Sharks snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 4-0 win at home over the Kraken on Monday night. Timo Meier day-to-day with an upper body injury. But look, I want to fade the Predators badly. They're not as good as their record indicates. I think there's going to be huge value fading them without Forsberg and Johansson in the lineup. Who's going to step up for them? Matt Duchene? It's hilarious. Matt Duchene. Take it away, Gogster. Predators, Sharks.
Yeah, this game here, not last game on the card, but one quality start from Saros, guys, since the break. 4 of 5 in the negative, 2 goals saved above expected, and he's a weaker road goalie than home goalie. But San Jose, on the other hand, Jim, you're missing Hurdle and Meyer. That's some offense right there for this team. And then you got Simic and Godovic out, one of their fighters. What I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to take another first period under 1.5 plus 120 in this game. Reimer's coming off a shutout after not playing since January 27th, I believe it was. So his first game back, he looked really good against Seattle, got the shutout. And Nashville, they don't bring nearly as much offense to the table like Seattle did there. So I'm on the first period under here, Jimmy. I feel pretty confident in it. Plus 120. Also lean to the full game under. Don't think we're going to get too many goals here. Sidewise, kind of just 2 bad teams here, really. I agree with the sense that Nashville is going to be fade material, because without Forsberg and Johansson, guys, that's your top 2 lines. First, second line there has been affected. They might even be on the same line, Jimmy, but give me the first period under here. Just you're missing too much offense here, and you got goaltending that.
Hurdle's back. It's just Timo. Timo's the issue.
Okay, Hurdle's back. I'm still going to take the first period under here. The shutout, and I do think Saros is going to have a better start. The only worry would be Saros gets lit up here, but they're missing offense, not defense right now, Nashville. So I'm going to take another first period on it. It's going to be the third one on the card, Jimmy. Plus 120. All of them are plus money. So
You got it locked in. This is my first time. I've said all year how we fade the Sharks at home. My first time all year backing them, and I'm backing them first. Back in full game at plus 105. Final spot on the board. Ron Crawford has given us the spreadsheet play of the day. It is on Boston Bruins in regulation. Bruins 43-8-5, 19-6-2 on the road at the Kraken, 32-19-6. 15-10-3 at home. And Ron Crawford dropping in to give us the spreadsheet play of the day. Boston. We have these Bruins opening up at minus 165. They're now at minus 170. Totals wise, this total opened up as a pick 'em. There's been a 5-cent move to the under. Look, I can understand anybody thinking, look, the Bruins at this number, they're 19-6-2 on the road, and I get it. And I think that at this number, the minus one is really nice. The problem is that this Kraken team is coming off a 4-0 loss to San Jose, and they continually bounce back. That's just what they've done all year. Every time you count them out, they bounce back. I'm not saying that they're going to do it here. Burakovsky out with a lower body injury, and they've shut Donskoy down with this concussion issues. Boston comes in off its 4th straight win, 3-1 at home over Ottawa on Monday. DeBrusk back. They're even stronger. I hope Patrick Kane's not on the way. Take it away for us here. Last game on the board, Goldster, Bruins, Kraken.
Yeah, this team's really good at bouncing back, Jimmy. You said it best. I'll be quick here, guys. 100% penalty kill, Jim, since January the 1st at home. So this team defensively has been just unbelievable. And then looking at Boston's power play, 8% in the last 10 games and 16% on the road. So they don't score nearly as much on the road. You have a bounce back spot here for Seattle. And then you got Allmark, who we all know how good Allmark is. And then health-wise, I was just trying to see Seattle really quickly here. I believe come on. It's Drager, but yeah, Burakovsky's still out there, yeah. But in this game, Jamie, where I'm going to go is just I think it's going to be a tighter game early. I really do. I think Boston's going to be an under team. They're 18-1 to the under this season on the road, and then 15-11-2 to the over at home for Seattle. But bounce back spot here. Not so much bounce back, but just after a 4-0 loss. And then the 100% penalty kill I really like to see. Only thing is Jones. Trusting Martin Jones is a little bit tough, but you know what? They've gotten wins with this guy. So bounce back spot for Jones, even though he hasn't looked that good since the break. Sidewise, tough cap. Seattle actually did beat this team. What was it? 3-0 at Boston on the January the 12th, Jimmy. And who was in net? It was Jones. He got the shutout. So he shut out this team this year already. So, and they're coming off that 4-0 loss. I think it's going to be a tight game early. I'm taking no goal. I was going to take first period under 1.5, but I'm just going to take no goal first 9 minutes, and that's going to be at minus 105. And that's at MGM.
You got it, Gogster. Let's review all NHL action here. I moved on to. I don't think I'm at. I might add the Blues on the minus one line. I might. But Jackets plus 165. I bet Gogster's on the first period under 1.5 at plus 110. I'm on the over 6 at minus 120 in Rangers Red Wings. Gogster's on the first period under 1.5 at plus 125. Gogster's on the first period draw Kings Devils. I'm on the Devils minus 1 at plus 110. I'm going to be very interested if we start getting value on the Devils at home because they've been so spectacular on the road and poor at home. I'm a very, very, very keeping a very close eye on it because I think that the Devils may offer us, because they're a really good hockey team and they're healthy and Hughes is back and good, that if they start offering us value at home, I'm going to start betting them at home minus one every game. They've only won 16 of 29 games in regulation at home. They're too good. They're too good, and they need to be a tough place to play come playoff time. Gogster's on the Pens minus 104. I look at the under 7 at plus 105. I don't know if I can move on it, but I'm interested in it. Then we have Gogster's Moneyline Parlay Lightning and the Knights at plus 153. I have some interest in the Ducks first period, but I'm not going to mess with it. Blues minus 1. I think I may end up getting to the window with. Gogster's on first period, both teams to score plus 140, and Kuzmenko to get a point at minus 135. We've stayed off of Flames Knights, but I do have interest in the Flames first period, especially. I got
the Knights in the parlay, but yeah.
Yeah, you do. You're right. I do have some interest in the Flames first period here. I feel like they did create some momentum against the lowly Coyotes, but they were pretty overpowering at times in that game. And then we have Goldster with no goal first 9 in Boston, Seattle. Ron Crawford, Boston spreadsheet play of the day. Goldster's on first period under 1.5 in Predators San Jose, and I'm on San Jose money line at plus 105. Razor Sharp Picks giving us a pick 3 at Gulfstream. 2 all one. $1 costs $6. He did it for 10. It pops
Thanks,
off in 20 minutes. 2 all one. That starts in race 2. Again, 2 all one for Mr. Gogster. There's no nose and house too, and we got to get into NBA. Mr. Gogster, we need a big night tonight. We both do. So let's get after it. Let's get that cash. You've had great success here on Thursdays. So let's keep it rolling.
I feel good about this card. I think there's going to be some unders coming in here tonight, Jim. Pittsburgh, let's get her done. Get that money line parlay in, guys. And golf show every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Some golfers have got in the mix right now, doing pretty good. So Pub Sports Radio, baby, we're covering all the sports.
And big, let's get Goldster back for you for a second, if you can. Goldster, very, very quickly, we're in a rush. Very quickly, what are you most excited about Palooza?
Just seeing everybody down there, meeting all the faces that I've seen on this chat for all these years. That's what I'm really looking forward to. But golf, of course. Being a big golfer, everything on there, I'm looking forward to. But yeah, probably the golf and just meeting up here. Everybody can't wait to get some beers and just get the party.
Strip club.
Oh, strip club, of course. I got to be there. I didn't get to go last year, so I get the slab contest there. That's going to be fun. All right.
We love you, Gogster. Follow Gogster and check out his golf show on Monday. It's the views are climbing. It's starting to pop off, and it deserves to be there. Let's get that cash, Gogster. I'll be in touch, my man. And thank you for your insights and hard work.
Thanks, be good, buddy.
There he is. Dab fan, I've been trying to stay focused here. I don't like hearing that. Trying to stay focused, but I will be keeping an eye on it. I hate that. Okay, but I'm going to stay focused here. I don't like hearing because we do have action on the go right now. Let's move over to that game here. How bad is it, Dab fan? It doesn't sound like it's good. Sorry, we're going to move in NBA here, but we did move on North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks. Come on, give it to me. There we go. There's still 10 minutes left. Let's see if we can fire back in this one. All right, let's go into NBA. I'm very excited to work with your next capper. He's going to be joining us on Thursdays here. You know him from NBA Pub Hub, but Thursdays he's going to be all ours. He was absolutely spectacular in our NFL Pub Hub throughout this year and the last year. I've watched him cash big bets in person and alongside him on camera. Please welcome to the show, South Jersey in the house, Billy Brisbane. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Excited for the slate. Got some early action going on. I put it in the chat.
Brizzy, we got some connection issues here. Let's pull them out and see. Brizzy, you may need to do a quick restart here. May need a quick restart on your computer. Jose says refresh. Give it another. Okay, he's going to come right back. But Brizzy, ready to rock. Brizzy's also going to have XFL looks for us as well throughout the year. He's putting out XFL shorts. Let's get to work here in NBA. Brizzy will be joining us shortly. And we start with the Denver Nuggets, 7 p.m. Eastern. Denver Nuggets, 41-18, 14-14 on the road to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 38-23, 25-6 at home. These Cavaliers trying to make the playoffs without LeBron James on the roster for the first time since 1997, 1998. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. Pull it up here and see what we are dealing with. Denver, Cleveland. We will be live betting the Raptors Cavaliers game Sunday Night Live, the debut of Sunday Night Live this Sunday. 2 games going on at the same time. There it is right there. Sunday Night Live. We have the Lightning at the Penguins and the Raptors at the Cavaliers. But here we got the Cavaliers, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. Over their last 5 before the All-Star break, both of these teams were 4-1. And the Nuggets were at 99.8 possessions a game, while Cleveland was playing very slowly at 93.30 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Denver opening up at +2.5. There's been no movement at Pinnacle. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 222. It's gone up to 223. It's gone up 1 point. Mike M says Cavs first quarter has been an ATM. Dan Kelly says Cavs have been horrible in the third quarter, home and road all season. Got to take third quarter Denver money line at +110. Get that right here and copy and paste that from our Dan Kelly. Let's take a look at where the cash is instead of quick table for Brizzy here. Cash is gone. It's going to be up here right now. Don't know why it's doing that. But let's break this game down. Denver leads the West by 5 games right now. So 23 remaining. They lead the West. Jokic looking to go back-to-back MVP for the first time since Larry, the legend, did it from 84 to 86. Jamal Murray going to return, expected to return. He missed 6 games with the right knee inflammation. And Aaron Gordon is expected to be out with that left rib contusion for the 4th straight game. We've seen this team get stronger this year. KCP, Bruce Brown, and now they have Reggie Jackson backing up Murray. Cleveland's won 7 in a row before that 6-point loss at Philadelphia on February 15th. And Kevin Love released now with the Miami Heat. Let's take a look at where the cash is for this one. We have 24,915 tickets in, 64% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on Cleveland. Then 95% of tickets and 98% of cash on the over. 95 and 98. And this total's gone up 1 point. Take it away, Brizzy. The floor is yours.
Do I sound better?
Yes, you're good to go.
All right. The Nuggets were on a roll going into All-Star break. They're 4-1 ATS last 5 games, but I'm not fading Cleveland at home. They're 5-2 last 7 home games, 6-2 ATS last 8 games overall. I wouldn't fall for the bookie trap here. The Nuggets at plus money looks appealing at first look, but before losing in Philadelphia, Cleveland was on a 7-game win streak, one of the hottest teams in the NBA. The Nuggets already don't play defense, and they're one of the few teams I think the Cavs pretty much match up pretty well against the Nuggets. In-season revenge spot, they got blown out by Denver. They were without Mitchell for that game. I like Cleveland team total over 112.5, minus 118. Should be a high-scoring game regardless of the spread. I think the Cavs will score points in the spot, so that would be my play on this game.
Cleveland team total over 118.5. And what was the juice?
112.5.
Oh, God, 112.5. That was way off. Sorry, 112.5. What was the juice?
Minus 118.
Minus 1. That's why. Minus 118. Brizzy moving on Cleveland team total over 112.5 at minus 118. Feels sort of like a spot where the Cavs could be in business. Dan Kelly saying you can still get on the Wizards to make the playoffs at plus 184. Very advantageous schedule finishing off. I find that interesting. I do. Let me copy and paste that. I've been thinking, I don't know why I still haven't moved on it, Dan, but I'm going to copy and paste it again. As I have the Raptors now at nice big plus money to make the playoffs, and probably would be nice to have the Wizards in there as well. Leo said interesting, the full game under worth a peek. Brizzy, first official pick this year for us on betting with the bag. Cleveland team total over 112. And Alfred, that's actual playoffs, not the play-in. Actual playoffs here. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. I'm interested in Cleveland.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to take the spread. -2 gets a little bit tricky in the NBA. Regardless if they win or lose the game, I think there's going to be points scored in this game. 112.5 is definitely a reachable total, even if they do lose the game.
Yeah. And Dan Kelly says it was plus 310 on Friday. That makes me hesitant to want to move on it this late. But yeah, I'm interested in the Cavs here. Is this a spot where without you have Jamal Murray returning, you're not going to want to play him that much. You're probably going to try to work in Reggie Jackson a little bit, and he's going to be out of rhythm. You have no Aaron Gordon. Is this a spot where Jokic coming back from the All-Star game where they might be a little susceptible?
I definitely think so. I mean, Cleveland, like I said, man, before they lost to the Sixers, they were the hottest team in the NBA. 7 straight wins.
Troy Torrance says this is a Cavs spot. I'm interested in backing the Cavs here. So bad third quarter, and it feels like Jokic is able to take over games the longer he's in. Would you, if you were going to move on the Cavs full game or first half, what would you pick?
I would probably do a full game. Not really into – it's hard leaning between first quarters and first halves. There's got to be a hard lean, and it's not really that much a discrepancy between these teams in any really real quarter. So I don't really see too much of an edge there. I do like the Cleveland full game spread, but I kind of think the team total over is a little bit more appeasable. Nuggets aren't really a good defensive team, and they're not going to already have Aaron Gordon. Evan Mobley is probably going to go have a pretty good game, either him or Jared Allen. So seems like a good spot for Cleveland.
All right, well, let's roll on. Next up I'm very close to moving on the Cavs. Next up for us, Boston Celtics at Indiana Pacers. Let's take a look at the line history here and set the table. Celtics 42-17, 18-10 on the road at the Pacers, 26-34, 18-14 at home at Cambridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Boston 4-1 before the break, playing at the pace of 98.55 possessions a game, while Indiana 1-4, playing at the pace of 97.80 possessions a game. Indiana opening up at +8 at plus money, and it has not moved. It's still sitting right there. Totals wise, this opened up at 234.5. It's dropped 2.5 points down to 232.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have a line value on the Celtics. The Celtics have the highest amount of line value on the entire board here. It's only about 30%, but it's the highest on the board. 63% of the tickets on the Celtics, but just 46% of the cash. So the big bets are not coming in on the Celtics. 42% of the tickets and 67% of the cash is on the under. So big bets have come in on the under, and the under has moved. Tatum coming off 55 points in the All-Star game. He's the All-Star game MVP. Brogdon will be playing in Indiana for the first time since the Pacers traded him. Halliburton is on pace to break Mark Jackson's franchise record for assists per game. Buddy Hield broke Reggie Miller's single-season franchise record for made threes. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Celtics, Pacers.
Yeah, this is a hard game for me. A part of me wants to lean towards the Pacers, but they beat them earlier this year in late December in Boston, 117-112. Pacers cover a +9.5 line. So that kind of gives me thought that there's line value on the Pacers tonight, but they're only 5-12 ATS in their last 17 games. Celtics are 6-0 ATS last 6 games overall. They should be fully healthy for this one. I mean, it's really hard to bet against the Celtics after what we've seen over the weekend with Tatum and Brown's performances in the All-Star game. Only lean I would say in this game for me would be Tyrese Halliburton over 2.5 3-pointers +118. Halliburton's knocked down at least 4 3-pointers in all 3 previous matchups versus the Celtics, and prior to the All-Star break, he had in his last 5 games he was shooting 53.6% from 3-point range, which is like ridiculously good. So that would be the only lean for me, and this one would be a player prop, but nothing too strong to make my card for this one.
What do you think of, and I know that you've seen Dan Kelly work. We're just such a luxury having him in the chat. In his database, he's got very, very, very strong numbers on the better team winning the first quarter on the road against a weaker team after the All-Star break. Does that resonate with you at all? I
do like the Celtics first quarter, but there's another first quarter later on in the card that is definitely one of my best bets of the day.
All right, I'm going to put some question marks in Dan Kelly's name there. Okay, so that was
the only thing that kind of concerns me is the Pacers are so bad in the first quarter that it's the coach kind of acknowledges that they're so bad in the first quarter that maybe eventually they start playing better in the first quarter. That would be the only worry for me.
Also, a big run from North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks have tied it up now.
I'm on Western Illinois +3.5, man. It's National Feed Your Dog a Biscuit Day, and Western Illinois was the only Bulldog team on the slate today. And their point guard said he's going to go off today on Instagram.
Mastner's a beast, man. He just went back-to-back layups. I shouldn't have got excited. Okay. Oh my God, Matt! It's 6-0 run right now for Western Illinois. I should just shut my mouth. That's what I should do when these games come up. Okay, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Pistons 15-44, 7-23 on the road at Orlando Magic 24-35, 14-15 at home. We're at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. Detroit 1-4 over the past 5, playing the pace at 97.06 possessions a game. Orlando 2-3 over the 5 before the break, playing the pace at 96 possessions a game. Big Lucci says over with this spot. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Pistons, Magic. We have the Magic opening up at -6.5. They've moved to -7. Total wise, they opened up at 229. They're still at 229, a 4-cent move towards the under. Take a look at the cash flow here for this one. 11,362 tickets in. 24% of the tickets and 31% of the cash is on the Detroit Pistons. Then you have 26% of the tickets and 59% of the cash on the under. Some big bets have come in on the under, and it's not moved. I guess 4 cents of juice movement. Detroit comes in after losing 5-6 coming into the break. They closed out the first half with that 127-109 loss at Boston. And we saw Wiseman for the first time in a Pistons uniform.
Yeah, he played 24 minutes. I thought that was pretty interesting because him and Durden literally split the center minutes right down even. And maybe they're not so high on Jalen Durden as we are in the prop markets.
Yeah. 11 points, 5 boards. Leave it to Dwayne Casey to make questionable decisions. Orlando went in the break off a 123-113 loss at Toronto. They had won 4 of 6 going into that. They're 13th place in the Eastern Conference, but they're just 4 games behind Toronto in the 10th spot. And they're 11-11 in 2023. And they signed RJ Hampton. So another project for Dwayne Casey. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Pistons Magic.
Yeah, it feels weird that we're in the year 2023 and the Magic are laying 7 points. And I honestly do agree with the odds makers here with the Magic laying 7 points. The Magic are 8-0 ATS last 8 games following an ATS loss. This is a double revenge in-season spot, dropping their first 2 matchups versus the Pistons earlier this year. I can only lean towards the Magic, and Magic, I saw somebody Mike M put it in the spot. Yeah, this is definitely a trifecta spot. I like the Magic first quarter, -2.5, -102. Not official, though. I definitely think this is a Magic trifecta spot, but I can't be betting on low-level teams like this. Player prop-wise, I do like Paolo Banchero over 20.5 points, -125. He's been cold of recent in their first matchup in November. He had 27 points in December. He had 15 points, but only shot 4 for 12. Tricky game, but there's some stuff to like in this game. Nothing too strong for me to make my final card, but definitely wouldn't hate anybody rolling with the Magic trifecta spot or a Banchero point prop here.
But you're staying off official action?
Yeah.
Interesting. So Dan Kelly has moved on the team total under 53.5 for the Pistons. You know, the Pistons pace has gone down 8 possessions a game, literally from 3 weeks ago. That's how much it's drastically dropped. Dan Kelly looking at the team total, first half team total under 53.5 for Detroit. Pistons. Let's get this. Here we go. Okay. So I have interest in the Magic as well. I just wonder, such a young squad coming back.
You're going to bet the Magic, do it in the trifecta spot. First quarter, first half, full game. I'm a little concerned about the coming out the break. Why? I feel like if anything, this is the spot that you would probably want to back Banchero after everybody just rubbed his back and told him you're the best player in the world and you're going to win Rookie of the Year, and you're with all the other stud players that you get to see and that you respect in the league, and you kind of get away from the wasteland of what Orlando is, and now you're back at home. Paolo Banchero probably plays better at home, and then Paolo Banchero is going to be the best player on the floor. More times than not, the Magic are probably going to cover the trifecta.
Yeah, and what I was referring to was the young players who weren't at the All-Star game. So yeah, Paolo, I think I'll be rolling.
Cole Anthony will be healthy for this one. They didn't have Cole Anthony the last couple games on that right before the road trip, and Markelle Fultz is playing his best basketball of the year. I mean, the Magic are, besides the suspension thing that happened a couple weeks ago, I mean, their front court would probably be the only hesitancy for me. But I mean, I just can't back the Magic at 7.5. It's still the Orlando Magic to me, man. I get it. It's the Detroit Pistons, but this could be one of those games, man. You never know. I mean, I think the only thing that really gives me the confirmation that I really want to back Orlando would be the double season revenge spot. I mean, goddamn, dude, you're telling me the Magic are going to lose 3 games to the Pistons this year? No way.
No, I feel you. I like the Magic. I want to get involved with the Magic here. I triple up is just. I would have to cut my unit size down a little bit.
It would go quarter unit.
I could do over that, but I would definitely need to cut down from a full unit. I'm interested in the Magic. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for us. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Memphis Grizzlies 35-22, 11-17 on the road at the Philadelphia 76ers, 38-19, 23-8 at home at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Memphis was 3-2 before the break, playing at a pace of 100.3 possessions a game. Philadelphia 4-1, playing at a very slow pace, 93 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one and the cash flow. Start with the line history. We have these Sixers opening up at some books at -4, some at -4.5. Pinnacle opened them up at -4, and it's now -3.5. So a half-point move towards Memphis. Totals wise, it's opened up at 229. It's now up to 230.5. And then cash flow wise, we have 19,616 tickets in, 78% of the tickets, and 99% of the cash on the Sixers. And it's moved a half point in the opposite direction. So some huge bets have come in on the Sixers, obviously. 88% of tickets and 90% of cash is on the over. 88 and 90, and the total has gone up 1.5. Take it away, Brizzy. Here, your Sixers at the Wells Fargo Center. Quickly, Embiid did play despite the left foot soreness. He did play in the All-Star game.
He's playing tonight.
Yeah, I imagine. Well, he has to. You can't play in the All-Star game and then not play in the first game back.
People would not say that. Embiid's first All-Star game, we played him in the All-Star game and absolutely shut him down for the rest of the season coming out of the All-Star break.
I hear that, but there was a lot of people thinking that he shouldn't play in the All-Star game because of his left foot soreness. When he said, "I'm going to play," that means he then has to play in the first game back. Was what I was intimating. Steven Adams is still out. Luke Kennard will miss this one with a non-COVID illness. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Grizzlies, Sixers.
Yeah, the Grizzlies don't play well on the road. They're 1-6 ATS last 7 road games and 4-10 ATS last 14 games overall. A good fade team this past month. The Sixers are 20-6 ATS last 26 home games and 4-0 ATS last 4 games overall. And the Grizzlies haven't played well in Philadelphia either. 1-5 ATS last 6 in Philadelphia. And for the season, the Grizzlies are only 9-19 ATS on the road. And I love Philadelphia in this spot tonight. I won't be betting Memphis until Steven Adams comes back. They're only 4-7 straight up without him. Philadelphia -3.5, -110 full game spread is on the card tonight. And prop wise, current lean, but haven't actually placed a bet yet. Still playing around with some things. Revenge game here for D'Anthony Melton over 1.5 3-pointers. He's gone 4 out of his last 8 games over 1.5, and it basically correlates with the points too, over 8.5. 4 out of the last 8 games he's gone over. And so basically, if he covers the 3-point prop, he covers his point prop. So that in the same game parlay with Anthony Melton over 1.5 3-pointers and over 8.5 points would be +122. Not on the card yet, but probably will be betting that later on tonight. But officially on the card, though, Sixers -3.5, top play of the day.
Sixers -3.5 for Brizzy. Let me just see if we can find anything better than that right now. -3.5. -3.5 and -108. There is a -3 at -120. What would you prefer?
I'll take the 3.5 -110 at FanDuel Sportsbook.
Okay, well, I'll give you the -108. Save 2 cents just for my record keeping purposes. I get it. I get why you're on the Sixers. LJ from H-Town says, I like that prop, Billy Melton revenge. And then DC Capper leaning towards Philadelphia, and Dan Kelly saying Grizz being a great fade without Adams.
In their first game that they played against Memphis this year, D'Anthony Melton definitely felt the revenge. 13 points and 3 3-pointers, was basically X'd out of the Grizzlies rotation for about 1.5 years, and now he's a starter on the Sixers for one of the best teams in the league. There's definitely some revenge in his heart. And if the Sixers role players are going to be stepping up at home, this definitely could be a spot where this line is definitely going to look a little bit too short. I think the bookies are giving too much respect to the Grizzlies.
Nunya also riding with the Sixers. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board for 7:30 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans Pelicans 30-29, 10-19 on the road. At the Toronto Raptors 28-31, 18-13 at home at Scotiabank Center in Toronto, Ontario. It's pretty wild that we're in this situation here in Toronto. It was certainly we're getting a little bit of feedback. I'm gonna meet you quickly here, Brizzy, my man. But pretty interesting that I never thought we'd be here. I never thought that the Raptors would add at the deadline with this mediocre season, and I'm kind of excited that they have done this. 4-1 over the past 5, playing at the pace 100.6 possessions a game. Pelicans 3-2 over the past 5 before the break, playing at 96.30 possessions a game. There's been a big move towards the Raptors. I mean, I could have got in when I was like, yeah, I guess it's the right move. I could have got in. It had already moved to 5.5. This opened up at 4.5. On the 22nd, so yesterday morning at 8:53 a.m., it moved to 5 at 5 p.m. It moved to 5.5 at 5:45, and then it moved to 6 at 11:38 a.m. this morning. So a big move towards the Raptors. Total wise, it's opened up at 226. There's been a 2-cent move towards the under, and I don't know why this keeps dropping for me. The get Sports Insights up here right now. Sorry, it just dropped again. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with here for cash flow for the Raptors game. We have 12,738 tickets in. They've given slight line value to the Pelicans. It's 50-50 for the ticket count, but 59% of the cash is on the Pelicans. So you have more money coming in on the Pelicans and the Raptors, and you have the market moving so drastically towards the Raptors. 13% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on the under. So again, Zion hamstring strain. We're not going to see him for a while. I don't know when we'll see him again. Raptors come in 10th in the Eastern Conference. So in the final play-in spot, 2 games ahead of the Bulls, 4.5 behind the Knicks, who are in 6th. They've won 2 straight, 5 of their past 6. And this will be the final game of the homestand on Thursday. So they won 123-113 over Orlando on February 14th. Portal, 30 points, 9 boards, 6 block shots in his 3rd game. In his 2nd start, he's rolling. And now Anunoby back. He missed 9 games with that sprained wrist. Gary Trent Jr., calf strain, missed last 2 games. He's back. Thad Young, who left with a knee strain against the Lakers, he's going to be back as well. So full lineup for the Raptors. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Pelicans, Raptors.
There we go. This matchup is 2 underwhelming performing teams this year, and they got a couple wins heading into the break, so I kind of don't know who to really lean. The Raptors are 7-3 ATS last 10 home games, and the Pelicans are 1-4 ATS last 5 road games. But the Raptors usually catch these teams slipping going into Canada, but I would imagine the travel will have no effect here at the All-Star break. And the Pelicans are 5-1 ATS last 6 meetings in Toronto, 5-0 ATS last 5 meetings. And so shockingly, I kind of lean towards the Pelicans here getting the point, but I'm not really too confident enough to put my money on the Pelicans. The Raptors have allowed a league-high 37 games where their opponent has gone over their team total this year, and the over has been 16-14-1, hitting at 53% in their home games, and the Pelicans' road games have gone 18-11 towards the over, so lean towards the Pelicans and the over 226.
Yeah, I feel that. No, this is the last game of the homestand for the Raptors. They head off to play Detroit Saturday, and then the second half of the back-to-back is Sunday at Cleveland. They play the Bulls again at home on Tuesday, February 28th. So leans towards the Pelicans. If you want to make anything official for our record-keeping purposes, Brizzy, you can just tag me in any tweet, and I'll know that that we've spoken about the game and that you're making it official. And Bo Jackson says, Valanciunas makes his first appearance in Toronto since being traded. Is that right, Bo? That's wild.
I did see some Valanciunas prop love, but I don't trust his minutes. If Larry Nance Jr.'s out, yeah, I would probably play a Joe Val prop. But I'm telling you right now, there's been a lot of times where Joe Val's looked really good in some spots, and you play him and you bet him, and he only plays 25 minutes, and you're like, what the fuck? Who are they playing at center for the Pelicans? And I don't know, man.
Yeah.
LJ from Houston says the Raptors first quarter 10-4 straight up, last 4 at home.
They're excited.
Last 14 at home.
I think, you know what, I shouldn't speak for them. The fan base is excited right now for the first time all year. And so
excited for what though?
Well, that they didn't give everybody away, that we get to watch 20 games of full squad here.
Mediocrity.
I didn't want it. I wanted them to ship everybody out, but you know, the fans are excited that we're going to have some fun basketball. And
Jakob Puddle's the answer.
I like him a lot. You don't like him? I like him a
He's
lot.
good. He's good, but he's not going to win you a championship, man.
Oh, God. Who's talking championship? No one here's talking championship.
You guys would want a playing game, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we could get a couple home games and make some money here. But no, I hear you. But championship. Fuck it. No one's talking about any of that shit. But let's move on. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Spurs 14-45, 5-24 on the road at the Mavericks, 31-29, 19-10 on American Airlines Center, Dallas, Texas. Spurs 14-game losing streak over their past 5, playing at a pretty brisk pace, 102.91 possessions a game. Dallas 2-3, playing at a pace 97.47 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the Spurs opening up as huge dogs, 13.5 point dogs. They're now 14 over at Pinnacle. Totals wise, it's opened up at 232.5 and has gone all the way up to 239.5. 7-point difference. Unbelievable move towards the over. Let's see if the cash flow is a part of that. 12,788 tickets in. That was the Pelicans game. 16,788 tickets in. 72% of the tickets and 32% of the cash on the Mavs. So the bigger bets have come in on the Spurs, but it's moved a half point in the other direction. 72% of tickets on the over and 59% of the cash. I imagine bets are coming in on the other side. Could the models be this wrong? Branham has stepped up, the young man, 23 points. Keldon Johnson had 21 in that final game that they played. This is the first of a 6-game homestand for Dallas. That's great. It's going to give us a chance to watch them at home in the same situation for 6 games in a row. It will help us for our capping. And, they lose 118-109 in Denver on February 15th. They're sitting in 6th in the West. They're 2.5 games behind 3rd place Sacramento and 2 games ahead of 12th place Portland. Luka went for 37 in the loss at Denver. Wood 17. And Tim Hardaway with right hamstring tightness and Irving lower back tightness didn't play. We know that Irving is going to be back. Is Hardaway going to be back too? I'm not sure. Maybe Brizzy.
Yeah, Hardaway practice. He should be on a minutes limit though. I don't expect him to play more than 25.
Take it away here for us, Brizzy. Spurs, Mavs.
Could this be too many points from the Mavs? I mean, they're only 1-4 ATS last 5 home games, 6-19-1 ATS last 26 games versus a team with a losing record, and 2-7 ATS in their last 9 games against a team below 400. And the Spurs are 4-1 ATS last 5 meetings in Dallas, 5-1 ATS last 6 meetings overall. So they're covering these big numbers against the Mavericks. Their recent form is just hard to back, man. I mean, 3-14 ATS last 17 games overall, 7-19 last 26 road games, 10-26 last 36 following a loss. You got a better chance of backing a freaking NCAA dog than that. Hardaway should be back for this one, but he'll be on a minutes limit. I think Josh Green is going to be the beneficiary. He's going to be the pick and roll trailer in the offense, setting him up for all open 3-pointers. His 3-point attempt volume has jumped 4.8% to 36.8% this month. So about 5 to 8 3-point attempt projection wise per game. So I'm on his over 1.5 3-pointers at plus 106 at FanDuel, and then over 2.5 3-pointers at plus 350 for Josh Green of the Mavericks.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Look, Brizzy, sorry. Can you hit me with those numbers again?
Josh Green over 1.5 3-pointers plus 106. And over 2.5 3-pointers plus 350.
Over 2.5 threes plus 350. Oh, wow. So a lot lined up with Green here. Our guy Wild Hound in the house giving us looks on Europa League round of 32, second leg. Manchester United, Barcelona, same game parlay at plus 1,600, 16-1 from our Wild Hound. Thank you, William, for sharing that. We'll be back in action Saturday, March 4th for a huge day of horse racing, Fountain of Youth Stakes being the highlight, and is it the Gotham Stakes? I believe over. Is it the Gotham? I think it's the Gotham Stakes over in at the Big A. So we'll be doing that March 4th. We'd love to have you there, William. All right, let's roll on. Moves for our Brizzy on Green over 1.5 threes and 2.5 threes plus 350. Let's move on to Thunder Jazz. This has been an interesting game. We've had a lot of looks from lost round cappers all over the Thunder. LJ on the Thunder. We have, Ron Crawford on the Thunder. I'm trying to remember all the other guys. I know I've copied and pasted, but I'm going to stay here with my notes in front of me. 28-29, 11-17 on the road are the Thunder. Jazz 29-31, 18-12 at home. Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. Both teams are playing at a pretty brisk pace. OKC 3-2, 102.70 possessions game. Utah 2-3, 101.40 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. The Thunder opened up at plus 2.5, all the way down to plus 1. 1.5 point move. Totals wise, are they a favorite now at some books?
Favorite, wow. 16.
Wow. This total opening up at 240 is now at 240.5. That's wow. Let's go over to the cash flow for this one. 19,489 tickets in. 73% of tickets, 91% of cash on the Thunder. And at least the markets are concerned. At least the books are concerned, showing concern. 51% of tickets, 54% of cash on the over. And it's gone up a half point. We have Markkanen and Shea back from the All-Star game. The Thunder are sitting in 10th in the Western Conference. Utah is right behind them in 11th. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Thunder, Jazz.
Yeah, on paper, the Jazz look good. 8-2 ATS last 10 games following a loss, and 3-0-1 ATS last 40 games overall heading into the All-Star break. The Jazz have won 7 straight games outright head-to-head versus the Thunder, but the Thunder are one of the most profitable NBA teams to bet on this year, 13-5-1 ATS, last 19 games overall, one of the best teams in the month of February here. 44-21-1 ATS, last 66 road games, 36-17-1 ATS, last 54 games against a team with a losing record, 6-2 ATS last 8 meetings in Utah, and 12-4 ATS last 16 meetings overall. Giddy and SGA have been in Utah since the All-Star break, so this is damn near a home game for them, both of them playing on the floor multiple times. The Jazz have shown every sign that they're tanking for the rest of the season. They have Colin Sexton out for tonight. Conley was just traded. They got Russell Westbrook in the 3-team trade, and they got rid of him. And what other signs do they have to show that they don't want to win basketball games? I would absolutely fade the Jazz for the second half for the rest of the season. That's probably going to be one of my biggest fade teams of the year. What other signs do they have to show that they're tanking? Me personally, I'm going to wait for this FanDuel line 1-10 win margin for the Thunder. Probably get it at plus around 170. I think the Thunder are going to win this game. Thunder would definitely be one of the top bets of the card today. Don't be afraid to lay it. The Utah Jazz fucking suck, and the Thunder are one of the most profitable NBA teams in the league right now. The only concern I would have would be maybe the front court issues that the Thunder have. The Thunder don't have a relevant big man. Maybe Dario Saric can help them out a little bit. Walker Kessler could probably give them some problems. He's a 7-footer. But I think guard-wise, who's going to stick SGA in this one? Obaji from Kansas, who's going to be in the starting lineup tonight for fucking Sexton? Get the fuck out of here. Thunder about to blow this team out. I'm shocked that this isn't like -6 Thunder, but I guess people see the Utah Jazz and the public don't really think the Thunder are a good team.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I'm a little hesitant, but at least the books are showing concern with all this money on the Thunder.
The Thunder are the most profitable NBA team to bet on this year, ATS-wise, and money line. If you bet on the Thunder money line this year, you're up buckets of money. Are
you making that an official bet right now?
I'm making official Thunder 1-10 win margin. It's not out yet on FanDuel because I lost a little bit of juice on the money line, and I don't want to bet a -116 if I can get plus 170 on the win margin if I wait the hour and a half.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, right now, but I can get you a plus 103 right now line shopping. So do you want to just take the plus 103 money line here, or do you still want to wait?
I'll tweet you out the 1-10 win margin. I mean, it's going to be plus 170. I was looking at the other ones. Who's -2 on the card today? There's a team that was -2. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Their 1-10 win margin is plus 175. I would imagine if they're plus 175 and they're -1. And they're -2. I can't imagine what they're going to put the Thunder at -1. I mean, I think the FanDuel bookies are honestly scared because they're posting every line possible besides the Thunder win margin 1-10, which is going to hit tonight, and it's going to be at plus money. And it's better than taking the money line.
All right. I love it. Okay. Tweet it out when you're ready to rock. Let's move on here. A big game happening out west. Golden State Warriors 29-29, 7-22 on the road at the LA Lakers, 27-32, 14-14 at home. We're at crypto.com in Los Angeles, California. Both teams are 2-3 before the break. Warriors playing at the pace of 100.60 possessions a game. Lakers playing at the pace of 104.10 possessions a game. We have the Warriors opening up at plus 4.5. They're now at plus 5.5. Totals wise, opened up at 238.5. There has been no movement. Let's take a look at the. Oh, God, it's gone again. So annoying. Cash flow I'm going to bring up here in a second. While I'm waiting for it. 13th right now are the Lakers in the 15-team Western Conference standings. 13th. But they're just 2 games out of the play-in spot. They've let go of Westbrook. They've added Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and Mo Bamba. Curry still out. So he is 2 weeks away. They expect 2 weeks away. Gary Payton going to be out for at least a month with the hip issues. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. They've given line value towards the Lakers, about 15% line value. 19,743 tickets in. 60% of the tickets, 88% of the cash is on the Lakers. Then 47% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on the under. A lot of money on the under, and the total has not moved. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Big game out west, Warriors, Lakers.
Yeah, right off the bat, we got to look at the referee assignments for today, and Scott Foster is assigned the LA Laker game. And let me read off some of these Scott Foster stats for home teams. It's absolutely ridiculous. Home favorites between 5 and 9.5 points, or 7-2 ATS when Scott Foster's reffing at home. And the overall ATS record's 27-11, and win-loss record is 27-11 as well. So when Scott Foster's reffing a game, that means it's rigged, and the home team's probably going to win. And the NBA probably wants the Lakers in the playoffs and stuff like that for their TV ratings. But Wiggins wasn't at practice Tuesday, so there's a good chance that he doesn't suit up for tonight. Jordan Poole's in a really good spot since Curry's been out. He's gone over his point prop in 3 out of his last 4 games, averaging 27.3 points and putting up 20, 25, and 25 shots in 3 out of his last 5 outings. The Lakers ranked 27th in points allowed to opposing guards per game. The Warriors have the league worst 8-20 ATS mark on the road, and only 2-5-1 ATS in the month of February, and 3-5 straight up. The Lakers are only 2-9 ATS in divisional games and 14-4 ATS at home. So this is a really big game for them. They had a total of 9 days of rest, one of the longest rests going in out of the All-Star break. The last time LeBron's played was February the 7th. And he played the first half of the All-Star game the other day. I like the Lakers' first quarter here, -1.5, -122. The Lakers are the highest first quarter scoring team in the NBA, and the Warriors are dead last first quarter scoring team in the NBA. And Scott Foster's reffing. I like the Lakers. I think the Lakers covered the trifecta spot, but I don't want to do it with I don't want to be Laker fanned all up with the first quarter and full game. I'd rather just take the first quarter and get in, get out. I like the Lakers early.
I find that interesting. I think the Lakers early is that's a good look. I like that look a lot. I think I'm going to join you on the Lakers early here. I feel like there's been so much talk about how locked in they're going to be. I like it. Brizzy's moving first quarter, making that official. Let's go into our last NBA game of the day before we get into college basketball. 10 p.m. Eastern, Portland Trail Blazers 28-30, 12-16 on the road. Sacramento Kings 32-25, 17-12 at home. Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Portland 2-3, playing at the pace of 100.1 possessions a game. Sacramento 3-2, playing at the pace of 99.23 possessions a game. Dan Kelly says if you crunch the numbers, it's going to be hard for LA to make the play. And not only do they have to win a high percentage, but the teams in front of them have to lose at a high percentage. Yeah, 13th.
The biggest sign of Scott Foster right off the bat is reffing their first game out of the All-Star break. The NBA wants the Lakers in the playoffs by any means. I don't know how they're going to do it, but call me crazy. I'm going to place my Lakers feature tickets.
Kings -6 opening line, now -6.5 at home against the Blazers. This total opened up at 239.5 and is now at 240, very slightly juiced towards the over. Let's take a look. And there, Joe Yurkovich says, I have Kings money line with the Magic money line parlay. Kings Magic parlay for Joey Yurkovich. North Ender says the Lakers will be in the playoffs. 10,419 tickets in to this Blazers Kings game. They've given slight line value to the Kings. 53% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on the Sacramento Kings. 22% of the tickets and 39% of the cash on the under, but we see it rising. Blazers on the outside looking in. Anthony Simons will be out for this game. So he's still dealing with that sprained right ankle that he sustained last week. So they're a half game out of the play-in spot. No Anthony Simons. And they have a heavy road schedule here as we move forward. So they have 8 of their next 10 games on the road for the Trailblazers. Interesting. Kings are in 3rd place in the West, but man, they lead the Clippers by 1 and the Suns by 1.5. So they can't be sitting comfortably here. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Our last game on the NBA card, Blazers Kings.
Yeah, this is my least favorite game on the card tonight. The Kings are another team that I'm looking to fade in the second half of the year. I have them losing a lot of games coming up. They're 2-5 ATS last 7 games, 7-3 ATS last 10 games versus losing teams, though. The Blazers are 1-4-1 ATS last 6 games overall and 2-9 ATS last 11 road games. They'll be shorthanded for this one without Nurkic, and now Simon's out too. Lillard tried to get the team morale up last night, having freestyle battles on the plane ride over to Sacramento. Lillard's point prop is already over under 35.5 and 4.5 3-pointers. So absolutely juice out of because you literally can't get any higher than that. Like, what the fuck are they going to do? Put it at 40.5? What are you going to do? Bet the over? 35.5. How many points is Lillard going to have tonight? And if Lillard has one of those nights, I don't want to be betting laying chalk against Damian Lillard having a great night. You never know with Dame Dollar. Lean towards Drew Eubanks over 7.5 rebounds plus 108. He's gone over his rebound prop in 3 straight games until Nurkic comes back. There is some value on his rebound props. His double-double prop tonight's plus 550 for anybody out there that likes that kind of stuff. He's yet to have a double-double since being in the starting lineup, but the Blazers are just thin all around currently in the front court and back court. Least favorite game of the card, but I don't even know what I lean towards this game. I would not want to put my money on this basketball game.
What do you think of Dame saying he's the best Blazer of all time?
Arguably, probably by the time that he retires, he'll have the best clippable moments.
He's got to take him further, but it's tough when Clyde the Glide, such a superstar. I just don't even know why you bother saying it.
It's Dame Dollar.
I got getting old. I guess I'm just getting old. Let's review all action here. Brizzy, Cleveland team total over 112.5 minus 118. Cleveland Cavaliers team total over 112.5 minus 118. I'm interested in the Cavs tonight. I think I'm going to move on the Cavs tonight. Dan Kelly talking about these with his database, the good basketball teams first quarter on the road against a weaker team have been very successful in this database. Celtics first quarter does fall under that.
I wouldn't mind betting the Celtics first quarter if you're a Celtic fanboy.
I'm going to take a look at that. Then Dan Kelly's also on the first half team total under 53.5 for the Pistons. I like the Magic here. I just want to kind of look at a couple more things. I would love to just hear them talk after being on the break. I saw somebody put Babano would be pissed at us for not backing the Magic today, but I don't know, man. It doesn't feel right back in the Magic trifecta spot, but the numbers say it's there. Brizzy has moved on the Sixers minus 3.5, and LJ looking at first quarter Raptors. I'm interested in that spot as well. Raptors early. Brizzy's moved on Green over 1.5 threes at plus 106, over 2.5 threes at plus 350 in Spurs Mavs. Then Brizzy's on the Thunder to win by 1 to 10. Going to get between 170 and 185. We're going to wait to see what he gets. So we'll wait on that. Dan Kelly is on the first half Warriors team total over 60, which makes me a little nervous about Brizzy's Lakers first quarter minus 1.5 minus 122. But why
wouldn't you take the Warriors third quarter? If you're backing the Warriors in any way in this game, it would be the third quarter. The Lakers are one of the worst third quarter scoring teams, and historically, I feel like the Warriors third quarter usually smacks.
DC Capper also looking at the Cavs as well tonight. And then we stayed off Blazers, Kings. Brizzy, it is great to have you in the fold. I love capping with you. I can't wait to party with you in Palooza. Brizzy going to be a Palooza. Brizzy, what are you most excited about for San Antonio?
Selfishly, I'm not going to lie. UFC card, UFC San Antonio. Got my guy Sean Brady fighting out of Philadelphia. One of the local fighters down here in South Jersey, him and Joey Body Bags Pfeiffer. And get to see Sean Brady fight in person. So it's going to be absolutely electric. And then we get Chito Vera. I don't know since we're in the state of Texas, but last time Chito Vera walked out in San Diego, all the blunts were being smoked in the arena. So I'm glad to see a Chito Vera walk out.
That's cool, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be right beside you on Saturday night at AT&T Center in San Antonio. Brizzy, welcome to our NBA coverage here. You'll see him on Thursdays here. We will be tracking all of his action. Let's get off to a nice winning start, my man. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Let me make sure I read this off correctly. We got the XFL video going up already. XFL game is tonight for Thursday night football. And then also on the sister channel, we have Pickles for Dinner with Nina and Mike going off at 7 p.m. Central on the sister channel Pub Culture TV. One of our newer shows. Definitely make sure you hit the like and subscribe on our sister channel. And this is one of our big shows that's supposed to be coming out. So definitely interested.
Sweet. I love it, my man. There he is. Follow him on Twitter at Getting Bills, and he'll be capping XFL. We'll have to get that playlist up for our YouTube page for XFL. There he is, Billy Brisbane, Deshaun G saying Seattle money line and the over. Let's move on to college basketball. It really ugly start for me here. It looks like it's going to be every time North Dakota starts getting close to Western Illinois, it falls off. I don't know why I had to double dip this morning. So I'm going to be behind the 8 ball to start off the day in college basketball. I don't like that at all. And we're not, we're in a vulnerable spot. It's not been a great year. 108 wins, 95 losses in college basketball, 53.2%, plus 3.4 units, ROI plus 1.67%, average line minus 110, and coming off an ugly day, 1-3, down 2.3 units. Conor Mac going to be joining us here in a second. So let's begin. We have an 11-game college basketball card. For those of you who want to know, just click on our video description. We'll tell you all of the games that we are capping. So let's get to work. Let's get this started. We start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Let me get everything set up here for our college basketball. And let's go. Move over the cash flow. Here we go. Okay, we start with the Penn State Nittany Lions, 16-11, 7-9 in conference at Ohio State Buckeyes, 11-16, 3-13 in the Big Ten. We're at Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Let's go right to the line history here for this one. We have Penn State market moving towards Ohio State. As you know, I don't want it to get too caught up in it, but we saw it with LSU. We saw a huge team on a losing streak. We saw big bets coming in on them. Should have trusted it, didn't trust it, and left money on the table. Here, Ohio State opened yesterday at 5:11 p.m. at -1. They're already at -2.5, so a big move over there. Let's go on to Bet Online and see what they're doing. Bet Online opened this up at -1.5, and they're also at 2.5, and that 2.5 is juiced. -113. Looks like a -3 is coming for Ohio State. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for you guys. Move over here. We have slight line value on Ohio State. I would say 15% line value, but a ton of tickets in. 8,177 tickets in. 51% of the tickets and 71% of the cash is on Penn State. So you have, 7 out of every $10 coming in on Penn State, and the market's moving pretty briskly towards Ohio State. Wow. 39% of the tickets and 95% of the cash is on the under in this Ohio State spot. Lee Davis is on Ohio State as well. Billy Friedrich giving us his action. Wright State -3, Washington -8, and Utah +7. I'm looking forward to break down that Utah-UCLA game. So let's talk about this. Penn State coming in off their second straight win, 76-69 at Minnesota on Saturday, 7-point favorites. Pretty underwhelming victory. Ohio State comes in off its 8th straight loss, 82-55 at Purdue on Sunday as 13-point dogs. And this is their first meeting of the year. Clearly, this is an Ohio State or nothing bet. We'll ask C-Mac what he thinks when he gets here. We'll just keep rolling through the games. But clearly, this is a Ohio State or no bet. The thing is that it doesn't all correlate is because, the bigger bets are coming in on Penn State. And easily connect the dots saying the books are showing no concern, no fear whatsoever that money's coming in on Penn State, and they're opening their arms to that action. So this is the first meeting of the year as well for these two teams. So this is not I get why Ohio State is being looked at here closely, but after 8 straight losses, the one good thing is that they go into Purdue and play a very tough basketball team. And Penn State's got to be an easier spot. Rocco Rogers says what doesn't correlate is that Ohio State is a bad North.
Hello, James. Nice to see you. Connor will be here in just a second, and I'm using this time while Connor is not here to give a cheek plug. World Baseball Classic video out today at 1:30 my time, so 2:30 Eastern. The last of the Baseball World Classic previews, talking Mexico, USA, and the Pool C in Arizona. So those are the big heavy favorite. Well, I shouldn't say those. The US, the big heavy favorite. So just keep an eye out for that. So shout out to everyone. And yeah, Connor will be here in just a second.
Cool. Exciting. I'll be watching your World Baseball coverage. I want Ohio State. I'm going to stop letting these spots fly past me. I let LSU go past me. Why? Here. I mean, clearly the market is telling us that the books are opening up their arms to Penn State money. So I want Ohio State. I would like to move on to Ohio State. We will ask CMAC about that spot. Let's keep rolling. Next up, we're in the American, 7 p.m. Eastern. Memphis Tigers, 20-7, 10-4 in conference at the Wichita State Shockers, 14-12, 7-7 in conference. We're in Wichita for this one. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with a line history here. Move over here and see what we are dealing with. Wichita State opening. I want Wichita State already, but I wanted to talk it out with everybody first. Wichita State opening up at +3, now at +2 at Pinnacle. Let's see what BetOnline did with it. BetOnline opened them at +3 and also +2 as well. Totals wise, it's opened up at 145. It's now at 147.5. I did not know that the CS Fullerton game was canceled, Billy Friedrich. So we have that on our list, don't we? No, we don't. Okay, good. Okay, we don't have it up. Okay, let's take a look at the cash flow. If it's correlating with Wichita State, then I'm just going to bet Wichita State here. Wichita State's been given line value here, according to Sports Insights, about 20%, 3,006 tickets in, 36% of the tickets and 91% of the cash. All the big bets coming on Wichita State. Market moving towards Wichita State. 78% of tickets and 97% of cash on the over. This seems like I knew I wanted this going in. Now I want it even more. Memphis had their 3-game winning streak snapped on Sunday in a tough 72-64 loss at Houston as 15-point dogs. I just don't see how they're going to get up the same way here. Shockers coming off their second straight win, third in their last 4 games, 79-65 at Temple on Thursday is 4-point dogs. So here, okay, so you have 3 things for me here with Wichita State. First off, they lost 88-78 at Memphis back on January 19th. It's 10-point dogs. So they lost at Memphis. Secondly, they have a big rest advantage. Their last game was Thursday, while Memphis played against the number 1 team in the nation, arguably, but number 1 team ranked right now in Houston. So there's the second spot here. And you have the market moving in their direction. You have the public on Memphis. Noli knows saying over. I am moving on Wichita State. I'll be on Wichita State full game. I do also have interest in them first half. And Noli knows saying over. Always wild when that happens. Rocco Rogers says Wichita State and the over. Swiss Horton just took North Dakota +9.5 live. That makes me very uncomfortable that they're that bad. Shockers do have Rebenga. Billy Frick said Wichita State is the only undefeated road team against spread in college basketball season. Obviously, they're home here. Yeah, I feel you. And Lee Davis liking this as well. So I'm moving on Wichita State. I will be on them at +2. I expect to take the 2 points and not the money line. Miggity, Mac Daddy in the house. C-Mac, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. What's going on, my man?
Not too much. I am interested in Ohio State. I am moving on Wichita State. Those are the only 2 games we've gone through so far. So let's hear your take on Penn State Nittany Lions and Ohio State Buckeyes. At this point, there's 71% of the cash on Penn State, and the market moving very briskly in Ohio State's direction. So let's go start there, and then we'll go back to the Wichita State game. So let's just quickly move this over here. There we go. Thank you, Jose. So what are your thoughts here in the Big Ten game at 6:30?
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this game. We can be short. If you think this is a good spot for Ohio State, I just don't know why you want to lay points with this team right now. I mean, they haven't won since January, 21st? That was the last time I was on them, when they won on a Saturday. They've continued to come home and lose. I just heard you say it right before I came on. You know, LSU won last night. I get it, but do you want to lay 2.5, 3 points with them? A team that just, to me, looks like they've quit a little bit. They are back here at home, but they've been at home the last 4 or 5 times and haven't got it done. And it's not like I want to run to Penn State too much either, but they've been playing a little bit better. So in the end, I'm off. Yeah, I want nothing to do with it.
Which game, sorry, Matt Paulins, are you talking about? Because please let me know which game you're talking about, Matt Paulins, so we can discuss that. Okay, I get it. I get it.
I would take Penn State. Like if I had a free bet, there's no way I'm going to back Ohio State. Just and they could win, but just that team, I couldn't do it.
I feel you. And often, and I need to think this through, because often when I leave money on the table, like I did with LSU yesterday, I try to, recreate the same situation the following day. And I just need to say that out loud because it's a mistake that I have made. Okay.
Are they due for a crazy shooting night? Because LSU had a good night shooting, and it had been forever. You really got to depend on a bad shooting team to shoot it well. Have a great shooting night, and LSU finally did. But man, it had been 2 months, Jimmy, since they had a good night like that.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. I am moving on Wichita State. I don't want to double up on them, so it will be either first half or full game. But for this is one where every single thing correlates. Like this is for me a slam dunk spot. Maybe what I should do is when every single thing correlates, I should do the double up first half full game. But take it away for us, C-Mac, Memphis, Wichita State.
I like Wichita State too. In this game, Memphis, who I thought gave a decent effort with against Houston on Saturday, I had them with the points, and that was without Davis. And I don't know if he goes here with the ankle. Wichita State's become more of a fast team. I'd even look at this over. I just think it's pretty sharp, I'd say. And I'm going to look into the total a little more, but I think it could still get up and over this number. But I like Wichita State here at home. Well, they've had a problem, though, with Memphis's athleticism the last few years. They haven't beat him, I think, in 2 or 3 years, the last 4 or 5. So as I was going through that, I don't love it. But I think this is the spot here for the Shockers. And I'm looking their way, too, here, Jim.
Yeah, I like this spot a lot. And I guess if I was to double dip on this one, and I know even when I'm saying it, I know I'm going to be doing it just because of this loss on North Dakota to start the day off. But
you bet that game?
Yeah,
that early game.
Yeah, sadly, if I was to do it, I think that I would take the money line first half and full game. So if I only cash one of them, at least I'm going to be in the black instead of the red. And Noli knows liking Memphis here. I just feel like, and I don't mean to repeat myself, but every single box is ticked for me for Wichita. So I don't really see how Memphis can get that up for this game after playing so hard at the number 1 ranked team in the country. Then Wichita State has Rebenga. They have rest advantage. They're playing their best basketball of the season. Just everything clicks for me on Wichita State. All right, let's move on to – Noli knows was saying the over in the Memphis game, not that he's on Memphis. Sorry, okay. I get you.
I think it gets over. And like I said, I'm going to look at this total a bit more. I thought if it was at this number, it's gettable here, as long as it wasn't 150.
97% of the cash right now on that over.
Wichita's just become a different team. This isn't the team in the last 10 years that's scoring 60. This team's up and down, and they're not a great shooting team. They only shoot like 29% from 3, but they struggled early on. The last 2 months, they've been better, a lot different, and they've been scoring a ton. So their overs are my money.
All right, so we've got moves here early. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, and we head over to Conference USA. We got a lot of conferences here. I love it. I love this 11-game schedule that I sent to CMAC because we're going to be in conference tournament time, and we're touching on a lot of these conferences. Let's get to work here. North Texas Mean Green, Conference USA. North Texas Mean Green, 23-5, 14-3 in the conference. At Charlotte 49ers, 16-11, 7-9 in conference. We're at Dale F. Halton Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go into the line history here for this one. And I'm excited to talk about these next few games. North Texas was I tried to give 10 games to CMAC, and I couldn't cut this one. This was going to be the cut, and I was like, I can't. I want to talk about it. Charlotte opening up at +3. They're now at +2.5 at Pinnacle. Let's see what BetOnline did. BetOnline opened them up at +3, and they're at 2.5 as well. Totals wise, this opened up at 115.5. And it's dropped to 109.5. I mean, that's just nuts.
The last game was 110. When they just played? What was that?
Yeah, it
February
was
11th.
67-43.
I saw some of that game, Jimmy. It put back. It was ugly. It was ugly.
It looked like old Naismith basketball.
Yeah.
All right, North Texas Mean Green. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 3,617 tickets in. 20% of the tickets on Charlotte and 54% of the cash. This is right in my wheelhouse. This is the Wichita State spot for me. This is right in my wheelhouse. 91% of tickets, 92% of cash on the over. I see people seeing a very, very low total. And North Texas comes in off their 8th straight win, 80-72 in overtime at UTEP Saturdays, 5-point favorites. Charlotte comes in off its 2nd straight win, 3rd in 4 games, 74-67 at Louisiana Tech on Saturday to pick them. Their lone loss over those 4 games was the game that CMAC's talking about. And in that game, they shot 30.8% from the field and 28% from 3. And I expect a better showing. I want Charlotte here. And maybe this is the exact same bet I make in the Wichita game. Now, I'm already starting to feel my palms sweat. I think I don't want to have too much action, but my goodness. Take it away for us here, CMAC, Conference USA action, North Texas, Charlotte.
God, these teams are so slow. And these teams, too, take a lot of threes, and they're not bad. North Texas, 35%, Charlotte, 37%. They rely on it a ton. So if you think they shoot it better, I've had a problem, though, Charlotte, a little bit at home. And they haven't got it done. And I'm worried about that. They rely on Khalifa just too much. He's their lone kind of go-to, kind of like Perry is for North Texas. And when he was out, they struggled to score. Or if he doesn't score, it's not great. I want to take Charlotte here. I just think North Texas is better. So I'm going to stay off this game. And we looked at the total. I mean, it's 110. I'm not going to touch it.
Very quickly back to the Memphis game. I was kind of capping it without Kendrick Davis in the lineup. Do you think that
I don't think he plays.
Yeah, I don't think he plays. And I also think that how well they played without him against Houston is going to go away here.
Yeah, it was a valiant second half from them in that game on Sunday versus Houston. So somebody mentioned in the chat, was it Troy? There's one thing, they've been a little not great at home, Wichita. Real quick on that game, they've lost some close games by 4 or 5 points. That would have been really good if this was like the 4.5, just to be safe in that Wichita game. Not just 2, that just in my opinion, but I just have a few more there if they don't get the win outright.
Oh, I feel you. I just I say some things out loud just so I hear them. And I know that my thought process is already, oh shit, I'm down $300. I got it, and I'm looking at moving on money lines instead of the slight numbers. And I'm saying out loud because I make this mistake and I don't want to keep making these mistakes. But I'm really interested in Charlotte on the money line here, first half full game here.
Real quick here too. North Texas struggling early when a few guys were out. They were dealing with some injuries. They're back to the team that was last year covering these numbers, though, Jamie. They've been red hot, where they won 9 of 10, and at these road games, they've covered these numbers, for the most part. They're getting it done. So that was just the one thing that had me conflicted here, too.
Yeah. No, I hear that. It's just there's so much that I like in this spot for both Charlotte and Wichita State. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Big South Conference. That will be next up for us. I can't wait to talk about this one. Let me move over to the extra games here. Longwood Lancers, 19-10, 11-5 in the Big House. Big South, excuse me, at Gardner Webb running Bulldogs, 15-13, 10-6 in the Big South. We're at Paul Porter Arena in Boiling Springs. I've had a good read on Gardner Webb, and I would like them here, I think. Webb opening up at -2. That's where they are right now at Pinnacle. Let's see what BetOnline did with this. BetOnline opened up Gardner Webb at -1.5, and they got up to -3 at 11:26 p.m. last night. There's been buyback, 1 point of buyback. Totals wise, opened up at 129. It's now at 130. That 130 is juiced to the under. And Brissois confirmed in net for Vegas. That's who I thought was going to be in there. Thanks, Billy. There's T-Mac in the house. Great to have Millsy rolling with us. All right, let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. Let's go over to the extra games. And here, that's Lindenwood. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm going to have to do a very quick F. Okay. I don't know. It's not coming up here. Louisiana Tech. It's not coming up. All right. I don't know why it's not coming up, but I will find it. Let's talk about the spot, though. Longwood bounced back from their 72-67 loss at South Carolina Upstate as 4.5-point favorites by winning 73-63 over Radford on Saturday as 4-point favorites. Gardner Webb coming off their second straight loss, 75-63 at UNC Asheville as 1-point dogs. And they lost 64-59 at Longwood back on January 18th as 5-point dogs. Take it away for us here, CMAC. Two teams that will play a big role in the Big South Conference tournament. Longwood Lancers, Gardner Webb Bulldogs.
Both these teams are good. This is not an easy one. I want to be on Gardner Webb too, especially they were playing so good. They ripped off like 7 straight wins, 6 or 7 wins. And you mentioned the back-to-back losses. And with a Gardner Webb game, I want an under. They've been slipping defensively. Here, Jimmy, the last 3 have gone over. Do they get back to their under? Because when I see this 130, this number, with these two teams, I want to look at the under. I'm going to stay off. It's Gardner Webb here for me. I have a tough time. This team is one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country. And even at 2 points here, Jimmy, it gives me pause. They're 361. They shoot 62% from the charity stripe. I want Gardner Webb as well. I'm almost on it. And Longwood hasn't been great on the road. Their numbers just aren't there. They have kind of coughed it up ATS on the road. So I'm looking that way here with G-Webb.
So am I. I do have a little discomfort when I see the numbers here. We have 1,273 tickets in, 86% of tickets and 97% of cash on Gardner Webb. If that was the case, I don't understand why it's come back a point. Like if this was sitting at 3, I would like it. The fact that it's come back to 2.
Yeah, there was some 2.5s, right? And then it's kind of, is that what you're saying? It's come back to 2. Longwood's own them. Jimmy. They've just owned that ass, too. I think it's 5 or 6 straight. Let me double check. 5 straight for Longwood.
Wow. I like trusting Gardner Webb's heart at home, but
I know. I mean,
I don't know if this is going to make my card at this point. I don't know if it's going to make my card. North Ender and T-Mac, we were going to be discussing that game. I look very much forward to it as well. But we move over to the CAA. We switch conferences here, 7 p.m. Eastern. Towson Tigers, 19-10, 11-5 in conference. At the Charleston Cougars, 26-3, 14-2 in conference. TD Arena in Charleston, South Carolina. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with here. Move over here and see what we're dealing with line history-wise. God, there's a lot of games today. Sorry if I'm here we go. So Towson opening up as big dogs here. Big 8-point dogs at Pinnacle. They're now 9.5-point dogs. It's a bigger spread than I was expecting. At BetOnline, they opened this up at 8, and it is at 9. Totals wise, this opened up at 149.5, and it's now at 150.5. Cash wise for this one, we have line value on Towson. Slight. I mean, we're talking like maybe 15%. 1,961 tickets in, 42% of the tickets, 59% of the cash is on Towson. 52% of the tickets and 68% of the cash is on the under. And that total has gone up a point. Towson comes in off its second straight win, 87-75 at home over North Carolina A&T. Saturday's 12.5-point favorites. The Cougars coming off their fifth straight win Thursday, 88-66 at Elon as 14-point favorites. The Cougars barely beat Towson, 76-74 in overtime in Towson. And Charleston turned the ball over 24 times in that victory.
Mm-hmm.
This one has now got me confused. I did not expect the spread to be this big, and I see some bigger bets on Towson, so why is the market not moving towards them? Take it away for us here. Conor Mac, Towson, Charleston.
I think this number is too big. I think Towson, I don't know if they turn the ball over again like that to Charleston, but I think Towson, they shoot the three well. I think they're in this one. When they get together, these games are close. Towson, even on their losses, they played pretty well on the road. They've been close. I just think this number's too inflated. I think there's value here with Towson. Also, looking at this total, I might be on the over too, something I might add, but I'm going to take the 9 here with Towson. I think we got too many points.
I think we could get you a 9.5. Let me check it out here. Yes, 9.5 at Pinnacle right now. There's a cheaper 9.5 at 5 dimes. So we'll give you Towson. So CMAC is on the board here. Towson plus 9.5 at minus 107. On the board, DC Capper talking about St. Francis, Pennsylvania, Fairleigh Dickinson over 155.5 says, can those teams put up points? Can they put up? He's looking at 155.5 over 155.5. I'll copy and paste that question, DC, and we'll ask Connor at the end of our breakdowns here. If anybody has questions for CMAC, remember he's going to be back in action at 5 p.m. But we will. I will ask those questions at the end. All right. So CMAC has moved on Towson. Let's move on as well. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Michigan Wolverines 15-12, 9-7 in the Big Ten. At Rutgers Scarlet Knights 17-10, 9-7 in the Big Ten. We're in Piscataway, New Jersey. Jersey Mike's Arena here, home of Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have Michigan opening up as 5.5-point dogs at most books. They opened up at 6-point dogs over at Penny. They're now 5-point dogs. So 1 point move towards them. At Bet Online, Michigan opened up at 5.5. Got up to 6 for a while. Got up to 6.5 at one point yesterday evening. Now sitting at 5.5. Let's take a look at the total here. Total opened up at 133, now up 2 points to 135. Billy Friedrich says lay it with Rutgers. Jake Burns asking about Weber State. We're going to talk about Weber State. Detroit Mercy was a last cut, and I apologize for that. Let's get over to the cash flow for this one. We have Michigan, Rutgers. What the hell is it? Sorry, Michigan, Rutgers. I'm not going to just... here we go. 4,916 tickets in. They've given a sliver of value to Rutgers. 75% of the tickets, though, are on Michigan. So we have a public dog in Michigan, which is something we deal with a lot with Michigan. 75% of the tickets, 75% of cash on Michigan. 86% of the tickets and 88% of cash on the under. Billy Friedrich says Michigan 2-5 against the spread on the road. Rutgers 12-0 against the spread at home. Energy says Rutgers, big, long team, but are they this good to be laying 6 against Go Blue? Michigan had their 2-game losing streak snapped in an 84-72 win at home to Michigan State on Saturday as 3-point favorites. Rutgers snapped their 3-game losing streak in a tight 58-57 win at Whiskey on Saturday at the Pick'em. This is the first meeting of the year and the lone meeting of the year until possible playoff meeting between Michigan and Rutgers. Take it away, CMAC. Scarlet Knights at home to the Wolverines.
It's pretty simple for me. If I were to bet this game, it's Rutgers here at home as a rack. You just got to lay the classic, 5.5, 6, this number. I don't want Michigan on the road. Something with this team. Juwan Howard, I don't want him. I don't want them right now at all. I took them in that game at home where they didn't score in the last few minutes. What was that, against Indiana? They didn't score the last 5 minutes of that game. There's problems there. I think his kid plays. He's questionable. Just when I see the Rutgers at the rack, to me, it's lay it or stay off. I do not want Michigan at all here.
I agree.
I think they don't make the tournament. I think I'd fade them. I just want nothing to do with it.
They're going to have to win the Big Ten Conference, which
they're going to have to win, and win basically a lot of those games or get to the championship.
DC Capper says -6 for Rutgers, too many points. The market has told us it's too many points because it got up to 6 a couple times, and every time it's gone up to 6, it's come back.
They know what they're doing. I mean, this is the line at Rutgers. Everyone knows they're at home, and to bet them, so it's just if it creeps, they'll just come right back. The classic here 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I guess I don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna move past it.
I look at the under. Michigan on totals have been a little bit off because sometimes when they're not scoring, this game will go under. We know how good Rutgers is at home. So, but it's moved up this number. Yeah, it's moved up a couple of points. Yeah, I was looking at it earlier this morning. It was a little bit weird. So.
All right, well, let's move past it. This is the one I really want to talk about. 9 p.m. Eastern, the 21st ranked Northwestern Wildcats, 20-7, 11-5 in the Big Ten, at the Illinois Fighting Illini, 18-9, 9-7 in the Big Ten, State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois. Let's take a look at the line history here for Northwestern Illinois. Staying with the Big Ten here, Northwestern opening up at plus 5.5, and that's where they stand right now. So Pinnacle has not moved it. They did move it to no, they never moved it. Okay, never moved it. Take a look at Bet Online here. Bet Online opening up Northwestern at 4, and they have Northwestern out plus 6. So a big difference. So we're up, and you know what? Another important note here, as the market has only moved in Illinois' direction at Bet Online. There's never been one buyback spot. It's just the juice has been heavier. It's just moved towards them 4, 4.5. Oh, I take it back. Once it got to 5.5, it moved to 5, but then it went to 6. So we're sitting at 6 right now. The total is opening up at 136, now 136.5. Look, I don't know why I keep trying to not believe in the Wildcats, but I keep doing it. And it's
the numbers, real quick, the numbers are like, can they keep doing this? Just from how they don't score a ton. They're all right defensively, but they just keep, kind of getting it done. There's the luck. People said that about Providence last year, that this team can't keep winning all those, the sites and stuff like that. So maybe it is. That's how I feel in this game a little bit too.
I'm really sorry for leading you guys into a tough hole here off the start of the day with North Dakota. And then losing money myself. That's not the way I wanted to start this fucking day, man. Very, very, very frustrating. So I apologize. My capping was shit there. I thought it was a really nice spot.
Okay.
Get
it back.
Yeah. Northwestern is rolling, though. They come in off their 5th straight victory, 80-60 at home on Sunday over Iowa's 2.5-point dogs. Illinois snapped their 2-game losing streak in a 78-69 win at home over Minnesota on Monday's 13.5-point favorites. Illinois lost badly 73-60 at Northwestern back on January 4th as 3.5-point favorites. It felt like this was a great spot here. 64% of tickets, 87% of cash on Illinois. A lot of money on Illinois, market moving towards them. 57% of the tickets and 86% of cash on the over. Take it away for us here. Big Ten action, CMAC, Wildcats fighting Illini.
I think people think this is the revenge. That first game a few weeks ago, Illinois had always kind of took care of Northwestern. And they were like, they're going to go on the road and take care of them again. And Northwestern kicked the shit out of them. So, and I think they beat them like 12 straight times before that, something like that, Illinois. So there's the ultimate revenge. They're back at home. I just don't want to lay points with this team. To me, it's a flat blowout here, Jimmy, or I think this game's close and these points come into play. Talk about Illinois. Shannon still questionable with the concussion. I don't think he goes there at all. I just think he doesn't. They got by. I thought it was just a ho-hum without him. What was that against Minnesota this last game after a couple losses, that close one with Indiana? The free throws are a problem, too, at this number if the game's close. And this Northwestern team that's scrappy, that could be in it, 3-12, 67%. I don't want doinks at the end of the game. So if you like Illinois, I think you look first half if you think they're going to come out firing here at home.
Well, that's exactly what I want.
Okay.
That's exactly, you nailed it. I want Illinois first half here.
I like it. I might join you. I'm going to look at it a little bit more, but I like it.
I want them to come out fired up. Nobody's looking past the Wildcats anymore. I mean, this is just a really good basketball team, and they're coming off a big win over Iowa. God, They look good. Now let's get them out on the road. Ask them
Yeah.
to do it again. Troy Torrance says Illinois is a fade. I agree that it might be too many points, but I also think that Illinois is going to come out fired up. They've not looked good lately. They lost by 13 at Northwestern. So I'm going to.
I want to look too more, Jimmy. I think they've had some really good second halves too. Has Illinois? I'm going to just double check into a few things before I bet this.
I feel you. All right, that was Illinois Northwestern. Let's move over to the West Coast Pac-12 action. We've had a lot of cappers talking about this game, and I know what I want to do here, but I wanted to talk it out before I bet it. At Pinnacle, USC opened up at +2.5. That's where they are. No movement. Let's go to Bet Online. At Bet Online, they opened up USC at +1.5. There was a 1-point move towards Colorado within an hour and a half of the line coming out. And it hasn't moved since the limits were raised. 141 was the opener total. It's now at 140. Let's go over to the cash flow for this one. I'm really excited about this basketball game. I look forward to watching it. Let's see what we have here for cash. How is it? Here we go. So USC has been given a line value. This makes me nervous here. 3,719 tickets in, 81% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on Colorado. And the limits have gone away and the line's not moving.
I know it hasn't moved. That's what I wanted to bring that up because when I was looking at this earlier, I thought you might talk about that. Nothing here.
Yeah, I can't. I got to get off of Colorado, I guess. 57% of tickets and 98% of cash on the under. 57 and 98. It has dropped a point. God damn. I did not. Why are the books not scared here? We're in Boulder, Colorado for this one. Buffaloes need to do something, show something. The tournament has to start here. USC comes in off its second straight win, 85-75 at home versus Stanford on Saturday, 7-point favorites. Colorado comes in off its second loss in 3 games, 78-68 on Saturday at Arizona as 13-point dogs. They covered. Colorado lost at USC 68-61 back on January 12th as 4-point dogs. They turned the ball over 22 times in that loss.
They're sloppy.
Yeah. This is a spot where I can't. If the books are not going to show any concern, then I cannot bet it. So take it away, C-Mac. Trojans, Buffaloes.
The one thing being here at home and at Boulder, I think the turnovers aren't that bad because that's what watching them. They're kind of like Oregon on the road. They're just sloppy with the basketball, and they're not very good. And that's what they did, against SC, like you were talking about. Because I want Colorado too. It's just you get into this. Yesterday here, Jimmy, like Kentucky was just the better team. Florida, I don't always play that, but that I stayed off the game because you look at it. And no, Castleton really just put it for me. And Florida gave out a pretty good effort early, and they pulled away. I just think SC's the better team. They won here last year. I just looked at this. They won a close game finally in Boulder. They probably hadn't won there. If you go back, I have to double check. Probably 10 years or more. So they've had some success there. Yeah, I mean, I want the Buffs, but I've seen enough of this team too. They just don't have enough good scores. I don't trust them.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm going to have to get off of it. Jungle Boy says, go with your gut. Let me tell you something. Now, every capper is different, but let me tell you something about my gut. I'm 43 now and raised at the horse track and, gambling as long as I can remember. In fact, we framed Ella's first winning horse racing ticket. She's got it in her hand, and then Carter's holding the fence looking like a 60-year-old grizzled veteran of the track. It's like my favorite picture in the world. But I'll tell you something about my gut in my lifetime of capping. My gut is a losing day-to-day gambler and a winning futures gambler. My gut seems to really know when a team is starting to show a ton of value, getting better, getting hell or whatever. If I trust my gut in futures, I'm profitable. If I trust my gut day-to-day gambling, I'm going to have a negative ROI. And that's why the market has become such a big part of my day-to-day, because I'm evolving and I'm improving and I'm coming off my best year of my life and I want to get better so bad. And it's going to be very simple when you guys know if I'm getting better, because my unit size will go up. It's always going to be that way. You can know if a gambler is succeeding because of their unit size. Now, there's other things that get involved with, raising a family and things like that. Let's Dance says, Jimmy, does your gut tell you the Bruins win the cup this year? My gut is worried sick about how good the Bruins are. I'll tell you that much. They're certainly the best team in the NHL, without a doubt. Without a doubt. There's no second best team in the NHL to me.
You know what, too, Jimmy? When someone says just go with your gut, you can make that bet, but that sounds like a recreational gambling move. Like, go with your gut, guy. It's just, this isn't this is a real deal here. We're not fucking around.
Our fucking lives are on the line, man. Fucking lives. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. So that's just my thing, Jungle Boy. But I respect, you're saying trust your instincts to me, and that's a thing that a friend says to a friend. And so thank you for saying it. But sure. I just let you guys know. Okay, Troy Torrance says my gut tells me Fordham to the Sweet 16. I love it. I can't wait. I can't wait till we're all together. With Elite 8 and final or Sweet 16 Elite 8 action in San Antonio. Okay, let's move on. Finally, and a team being undefeated in conference play has forced us, and I love talking about Eastern Washington, but now we have to talk about the Eastern Washington Eagles, and we have to hope that we get to see them in the dance. Now 15-0 in conference. Eastern Washington Eagles 21-7 at Weber State Wildcats 15-13, 10-5 in conference. D Event Center in Ogden, Utah. Move over to the line history here with this one. Nuki saying, just because you think they win doesn't mean they will. Trust me. We just went through the Super Bowl. I know that very well. Okay, but let's go. D Event Center in Ogden, Utah, Eastern Washington, Weber State. I'm really excited about capping this game, and I'm excited about these conference tournaments, and I really love having CMAC here to provide expertise. We have Eastern Washington opening up at -2. They're now +1. God damn. I knew that was going to happen. But it happened at 8:30 this morning. Fuck. That's a 3.5-point move. Is that an injury-related move? Seems like a huge move. I did not know this move had happened. I thought I was... God damn.
No.
Wow.
It's not an injury.
Damn it. I wanted Weber State here, but I wanted to... Okay, whatever. Let's see what BetOnline has done with this one. BetOnline opened this up. Eastern Washington -2. So then at 9:48 a.m., the same thing happened. They moved it to a pick'em. Since then, they've come back to Eastern Washington. So Eastern Washington's juiced at -1. Yeah. So we have very different situations happening at BetOnline and Pinnacle. So why don't we just look at the money line then? Maybe that'll clear everything up. So for the money line, there's been no movement at BetOnline, but of course the money line came out at 7:30 a.m. later, so let's not even bother. Okay, let's just go to the total here. The total opened up at 138.5 and it's up to 140. Got up to 140.5 and there was buyback. Let's go over to the cash flow for this one. And I love seeing these Eagles. There have been so many Eastern Washington teams that I've loved more than this group, but nobody's been as good as this group. 46% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on Weber State. Clearly, it's a sharp look. 60% of tickets, 76% of cash on the over, and market's moving there. Take it away for and Sky Dragon says Carolina has plenty to say about that. Carolina is a really good hockey team. Don't get me wrong. Carolina's a really good hockey team. I just want to see what they add at the deadline. Boston doesn't need to add anybody. And if they add Patrick Kane, then we're all fucked. Take it away for us here. CMAC, Eastern Washington Eagles. Eastern Washington comes in off their 17th straight win. 89-77 at home on Saturday over North Colorado's 8.5-point favorites. Weber State comes in off its second straight win in third and 4 games. 65-57 at Portland State on Saturday's 1-point dogs. Weber State lost in a really tight game. Just January 28th, so a little over 3 weeks ago. They were 5-point dogs at Eastern Washington. They lost 75-71. Take it away for us here at CMAC, Eastern Washington, Weber State.
This should be a really good game here. This Eastern Washington team's back to the team early in the year. they were playing a little bit slower, not scoring a ton. Yeah, just get them back into conference play, and they've rolled. This is the classic spot. They've been so good and continues to win on the road. This seems like the spot where they go down. And the market just knows, we're not getting 4 here with Weber State. A slower team, they're more of an under team. But when these teams get together, it could definitely go over. I think it could go either way, because if Weber State controls it, this could just stay under and be in the 60s. Or both teams are pretty good free throw shooting teams. We get fouls late, this could get this total over. It's tough to go against Eastern Washington if you've been betting them. They've been pretty money. I've had them a bunch, but I think the Wildcats here at home, I just basically a pick them. It's a lean with them.
Yeah, I wanted the plus monies. What am I being offered here? What am I seeing exactly? I'm being offered plus 100. I want Weber State. I know this is a huge game for them. Everybody knows that they're 15-0 in the Big Sky. Everybody knows. Everybody's talking about it. Here you have a chance at home. I have to move on Weber. State. We'll move on Weber State. But I'm excited about Eastern Washington, and I think that Eastern Washington is going to make the Big Sky tournament really fun. So Eastern Washington, I'm going to fade them here. Daniel's son says Eastern Washington almost lost to Sacramento State, one of the worst teams in the conference not too long ago. Can't trust Eastern Washington on the road. Yeah, but Rick J says Eastern Washington should be at least -4. So lot of
that's what I was thinking. They've had closer games on the road too, but they just keep winning here. Eastern Washington.
All right, so we have Big West action next. Long Beach State. Hopefully, Noli No is still running with us. Long Beach State, 15-13, 9-7 in the Big West at UC Santa Barbara, who looked at one point like the class of the conference. And I wonder how much has that gone away. Let's take a look at the line history here. UC Santa Barbara, of course, on a 3-game losing streak. Pull up the line history here. UC Santa Barbara opening up at -5.5. They're now -5. Half-point move towards Long Beach. Take a look at Bet Online if they did the same thing here. Bet Online opened this up at 5.5, same thing, and now at 5. Total-wise, this opened up at 146. It's gone up 2 points to 148. So let's take a look at the cash flow. God, again, I don't know why it disappears on me, so it's coming right back. While I'm waiting for it, let's just set the tone here. The Thunderdome in Santa Barbara, California. Long Beach State comes in off its second straight loss, 70-67 at home to Hawaii as 3-point favorites. Move this over here. And Santa Barbara coming off its third straight loss, 74-60 at home. They lost by 14 at home to Cal State Fullerton as 6-point favorites. And they won at Long Beach, 75-72 back on February 9th as 1.5-point favorites. Long Beach State has Rebenga, the market moving a 0.5 point towards them. And let's see if also the cash flow is moving towards them. We have the most line value on the entire board. According to Sports Insights, the highest line value on the entire board in college basketball today is Long Beach State. The second is Cal Baptist. Wow.
I wrote Long Beach, Cal Baptist, and Sac State right away last night when I jotted those down. Some dogs.
Wow, I'm gonna have to review that Cal Baptist spot because that's a perfect money. Like Cal Baptist here, CMAC has, where is it? Has 41%. And we're talking 1,961, so it's not 41% of the tickets, but 88% of the cash. That's got sharp money written all over it. I'm gonna remember that for after the show. Cal Baptist. Okay, here, take it away for us, CMAC. Let me just. Sorry, I think I got caught up with not giving the full numbers here for this one. This one has Long Beach State. Where the hell is it? My bad. Here we go. So 1,324 tickets in, 46% of the tickets, 89% of the cash on Long Beach State. I would prefer if I saw a 4.5 now on the board, but at least it's gone from 5.5 to 5, and we don't have any information on the total other than the tickets are 50-50. Take it away for us here, CMAC. Second to last game on today's board, Long Beach State, Santa Barbara.
I wonder if this heads that way, though, here, Jimmy, to a 4.5. would be telling. The key the other day was Santa Barbara off the losses, and a lot of people thought that was the spot they would get. I just thought Fullerton was the best defensive team I had seen in this conference, and they smothered them again. They've struggled to score. 59, 63, 60. They should be able to score here because Long Beach doesn't have the best defense here. They give up points, but they've been able to score, and I don't know how at times. The pace just with them is up and down, up and down. This team shoots 29% from three. 353 in the country, 68% from three. I mean, free throw, 299, 68. But they hang around. They're a scrappy team. And I think they hang around here in this one. And this is a big one for Santa Barbara. 3 straight losses. They need a big win. I thought they were kind of cruising the whole year. Obviously, in this conference, they're always one of the top, them and Irvine. But yeah, they've hit a snag here, and they can't score. They can't get the ball in the bucket. So I like the Beaches here a bit.
Millsy has his Long Beach hoodie on today. It says it's a sign. And Aaron says it has moved to 4.5 at FanDuel. But it costs 10 cents to get the 4.5. Troy Torrance also saying that Cal Baptist is in a great spot. All right. Are you going to make LBC? You're going to make them official?
Yeah, I'll let you know. I think I'm going to move on them.
I am also going to move on them. All right, final game on the board for us, 11 p.m. Eastern. The number 4 ranked UCLA Bruins, 23-4, 14-2 in the Pac-12. At the Utah Utes, 17-11, 10-7 in the Pac-12. And we're at the John M. Huntsman Center, Salt Lake City, Utah. A tough place to play. And a place where we've made lots of money, good money, backing them, like in the Arizona game. Question is, do we want to do it here? It sets up pretty nice for us. Let's see what we're dealing with odds-wise. We have UCLA. You know, I remember when UCLA went to Washington State, and the sharp action was on Washington State, and I bet Washington State. I only bet them first half. Washington State, I won outright the first half. UCLA was such a good basketball team that they ended up winning that game by, I believe, a point. So even in the bad situations, UCLA can pull up the W. Mm-hmm. But can they cover? UCLA opening up at -7, -108. That's right where they are at Pinnacle. Let's see if BetOnline has done anything different. BetOnline has UCLA -7.5 opener, now at 7. Half-point move towards Utah. Totals-wise, this opened up at 131. It's dropped a half point to 130.5. And going over the injury spot, there some issues for UCLA, but Utah is the big thing. We know that Worcester, the guard, is doubtful. So that's and
Madsen, he's out already.
Yeah, we know Madsen's out.
Yep. He's not going to play, I don't think. Worcester.
No, they've got him listed here as doubtful. So that's
the problem
good.
A little bit here, the injuries.
Yeah, not good. Okay, let's take a look at where the cash lies here for this one. Utah has been given line value, about 15-20% line value. 4,534 tickets in, but the bigger bets are coming in on UCLA. 51% of the tickets, 63% of cash. We have seen a half-point move towards Utah. Then 52% of tickets on the under, and no help with the cash for that one. So we have UCLA coming in on a 6-game winning streak. They've been dominant in conference. They had the 2 losses at Arizona, at USC back-to-back, sandwiched with all these wins. One of their wins was at home over Utah. They destroyed Utah. It was a mistake, capping mistake, because it came a week after they'd let USC come all the way back in that basketball game. And, of course, they were going to be sharp against Utah. They destroyed Utah. 64-49, destroyed them. Over on the other side for the Utes, they're coming off back-to-back losses in back-to-back tough spots. They lose at Arizona, 88-62, lose badly there. We were on the Arizona smash and grab. We had Arizona first. That was last week we were together, I believe. That was on our last show together last week. We catch Arizona first half in full game. Then on Saturday, they played better, but they lose again at Arizona State, 67-59. I mean, you could say that playing Arizona and Arizona State on the road is more difficult than playing UCLA, USC. I bet that's ridiculous. They're similar difficulty numbers. Take it away here for us. Final game on the board. UCLA at Utah. Floor is yours.
UCLA here on the road. I want to fade them. The injuries is just what you went through there, Jimmy, with this Utah team. Can they just a shorthanded team here get it done at home? Obviously, Carlson, the big man's got to get it done. They got beat up at UCLA. I'm worried if they don't have the guys here. I'd look at the under. We're not getting a bargain. Both these teams they're slow and very good teams to the under here. I'd look that way. I got to look at it a little bit more. Utah does score more at home here than on the road. So that's another thing. Their games have gone a little more over here at home. And they continue to win. Even Cal, Colorado, and you mentioned the back-to-back losses on the road. And they're in Salt Lake City. To me, it's them or nothing. I'm really like this UCLA team. I think they can win it all. This is how good they are, especially that starting five. Tough spot here. To me, it's Utah or nothing. Can I get over these injuries? I don't know if I'm going to take it or not. It's just a glaring hole here. But maybe these kids step up off the bench and have a big night.
Yeah. I don't like seeing the bigger bets on UCLA. Again, they're sort of like Michigan, where they're always going to take money. But
yeah, they're just usually. Yeah.
I wonder if your look on the under is spectacular.
I like it. I want to look at it a little more. These teams have been great. UCLA's defense has just been suffocating lately. I know they play some bad teams, but they've been very, very good. They're slow, their offense, but they're very efficient, this UCLA team, scoring it. And Utah's been an under machine here. Another thing with Utah, when they've played teams over 500, really good teams at home, they haven't been good ATS. They've beat up all the bad teams, and have good records lately, but some of these good teams that have come there haven't got done.
I guess I just have a vividness of that Casher early in the year with Arizona. Started getting the confidence, but I hear you that. If we go back, let's just go with stay in conference. They lose by 10 at home to Oregon. That's ugly.
That was ugly. I was on that. That was the worst. That home game, right?
Yeah. They lost by 6 at Stanford. I guess what we're saying is with these injury issues now, even at the Huntsman Center, they can't be trusted.
Yeah. UCLA is very good. Carlson, I think he's got to have a 25-point night. Can he do this against the UCLA defense?
So then maybe. I guess that sends me towards the under. Okay. I was fully expecting to back the Utah Utes here, but I'm not. I guess I'm not going to. I guess if I trust them to play with a ton of heart here in a huge game for them, it'll be just that the game will go under and they'll have to play their best defense, which is they're more than capable of doing.
They are. I wish this was a few points. 130, there's not a lot of wiggle room.
No.
Here, I get what you're saying. I just expect.
Dabby Cab on USC first half and USC full game, and he's going heads up with me in the Memphis Wichita State spot here. That makes me nervous. Great to have you, Dabby Cab, my man. All right, let's review all of college basketball action. And getting pretty close to showtime here. Make the bets and see where everything falls, and starting the day behind the 8 ball. So let's roll through everything. I'm going to be on Ohio State. I'm going to back the Buckeyes here. Could be much to my chagrin. I'm doubling up on both Wichita State and Charlotte. And I'm going to double up on both of those two squads on the money line. First half and full game. Gardner-Webb at home, I still need a bit more time on. We have a question coming in from Billy Friedrich. I will copy and paste that. And Res Mobs on Cal Bakersfield big. We have a video coming out that we're really excited about, a little promo video for Palooza about what happened last year. And it closes with Res Mob. Well, it closes with, of course, the Jager Bombs. But right before the Jager Bombs, it's got a Res Mob. I love the man. What a quality dude. C-Mac gets his card start now. He's going to add to the official picks, but he's on Towson plus 9.5 and minus 107. Michigan, Rutgers, we are off. I'm going to be on Illinois first half. USC, Colorado, we're off. I'm going to be on Weber State. I'm going to be on Long Beach State. I'm going to be on the Utah under. And I'm very interested in Cal Baptist, although it wasn't capped by us, but CMAC likes Cal Baptist. So CMAC, I'm going to copy. There's a couple questions that have come in. I'm going to copy and paste them, but what?
Wait. I'm going to add Wichita. I'm pretty sure. I just want to go over stuff. That's going to be an ad for me.
Okay.
Just add it. Put it on.
Put it on. Do you want full game?
Yep.
All right. We have an ad for Wichita. Is there any spots on this board that we didn't discuss that you want to discuss, or are you going to save it for 5 p.m.?
We can go at 5 p.m. Anybody got any questions?
Yes. I'm going to start giving them out. But you're going to get +2 and -101.
That works.
For Twitch City, man. Let's move over here. So CMAC is in. CMAC is on Wichita State +2 -101. Okay. And Stimmy OG's on Monmouth. Wow, I like it. Monmouth big. Okay. So let's go over the questions. The first question was from DC Capper. He wants to know about St. Francis, Pennsylvania, Fairleigh Dickinson over. Let me just set the quick table for you on this one. I did look briefly at the game, wondering whether we should add it to our card here. Sorry, let me get to these extra games. There we go, St. Francis, Pennsylvania. So this is the tail of the tape here. We have it. Well, let's go to BetOnline instead of Pinnacle. I'll give you a better idea. BetOnline. So this opened up as a pick'em. Since then, Fairleigh Dickinson, who graduated our aunt, Prince of the City, graduated him. It opened up as a pick'em, is now got up to -2.5, and that was a move that happened at 9:45 this morning. It went from a pick'em to Fairleigh Dickinson at -2.5. So it's a big move. Now it's back at -2, and from a total perspective, it opened up at 157. It got down to 155. It did, but it's back at 156.5. So it's almost where it started. And then when we go to the cash flow for your spot, DC, 1,120 tickets in, 45% of the tickets, 56% of the cash on St. Francis, Pennsylvania, but the market moving in the other direction. Then 58% of tickets and 53% of cash on the under. Do you have any thoughts on this total for our guy, DC Capper?
Here's the deal with the totals. I just think it's pretty sharp here at the number. Both these teams, though, get over teams. I think there's like 16-8. What was I going through? 16-10, 15-8. It seems like you get a better bargain earlier on in the year. Basically, both teams got to get to 80, which can happen. When they get together, there have been a couple unders, but they just get back and forth, back and forth. I don't know if I'm crazy about it, but everybody points there, I think, for sure. Just can we get there?
Next question for you is an 8:30 p.m. start. This one is the Texas A&M's Corpus Christi at home to Commerce here. Let's go over to the line history with this one. Of course, this one would have just opened up this morning. Pinnacle opened up Corpus Christi -11, -108. There's been a 7-cent move to Commerce. Move over here. And then BetOnline opened up Corpus Christi -10, so that's a little different. BetOnline wasn't scared. BetOnline opened this up yesterday. So BetOnline opened up Texas A&M Corpus Christi -10. Now they're -11. And totals wise, this opened up at 144 with no movement. Let's go to the cash flow here and then see if we have any thoughts from CMAC. Get to the extra games here. So just 815 tickets in. But it's Commerce that's taking the money. 38% of tickets, so the public on Corpus Christi, but 65% of the cash on A&M Commerce. Take it away for us here, CMAC, Texas A&M Commerce, Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Any help for Billy Friedrich?
I think this game's the over here at this number. Commerce just went under by 1.5, 72-71, but they've been a pretty good over team all year long. And one thing with Corpus Christi, they can score. I think they get in the mid-80s here. So looking at this total, I'd be on the over here. I'm not that's a ton of points to me on the side. I would just stay off.
And if you have more questions for C-Mac, he is starring in Net Profits at 5 p.m. Eastern alongside Bo Bano. C-Mac, excellent work. I love these Thursdays that we get to cap together. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. And if you've seen his numbers on Thursdays, they're very good. And I love the fact that he doubles up. I really think it's a helpful thing. And then sitting with it and then going after it again. He will tweet out his action. I will retweet it. C-Mac, any last words, my friend, for the Capper Sport and the show?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Shout out to the chat as always. Best goddamn chat period out there. Appreciate it. Check out Net Profit later. More time, right? Sit here the next 3 hours. Study this shit.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me, Jimmy.
I love it, man. Great to have you. Please follow our man C-Mac on Twitter at Conor Mac Picks. Let's do a quick review of all action. I'm on the Jackets at plus 165. See where these lines have moved now that we're 3 hours and plus into the show. Not plus 160. I thought it moved more than that, but no. Gogster's on that first period under 1.5 in Minnesota Columbus. I'm on the over 6 at minus 120 in New York. Detroit set 6.5. There we go. Lax in now, and it's moved to 6.5. I like it. And that's just juice minus 105 to the over. Gogster's on the first period under 1.5 at plus 125 with Halak in. It would just be a 5-cent difference if you bet it now. So then Gogster's on first period draw at plus 175. I'm on the Devils minus 1, and I'm going to be keeping a really close eye on this. Are the Devils going to start giving us value at home because of their lackluster home record? I think that both their road and home splits will regress to the mean, and I think there'll be value there. Gogster's on the Pittsburgh Penguins at minus 104. That under 7 still staring at me at plus 105. That's wild. Just wild it'd be that high. Goldster has a parlay, Lightning, Moneyline, Knights, Moneyline plus 153. I'm not going to take Ducks first period. I'm not going to try to be this. But I don't believe that Ovechkin is going to change the outcome of the Capitals not making the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. I'm going to cash with that. I'm going to cash with their under 94.5 points. And I will cheer Ovechkin on next year when his team sucks again and he breaks the goal scoring record. Then I think I'm going to add the Blues minus 1. I just want to spend a little time with it. I'm over the intense anger that I feel every time I talk about the Canucks. Gogster's on first period, both teams to score in Vancouver, St. Louis, and he's on Kuzmenko a point. The Flames' first period really interests me against the Knights here. And you know what? In fact, I think I'm going to move on it. I think I add both those spots. I think I add Flames first period and Blues minus 1, but I do want to sit with it. Ron Crawford gave a spreadsheet play today on the Boston Bruins regulation. He also gave a spreadsheet play today on Oklahoma City plus 2. A lot of our cappers are on the Oklahoma City plus 2 spot. Gogster's on no goal first 9 minutes in Boston, Seattle. I'm off of it. Gogster's on first period under 1.5 plus 120 in Nashville, San Jose. I'm on the Sharks. I got the Sharks at plus 105. Right now they're plus 100, so I like that 5-cent move there. Okay, then in NHL. In NBA, Sammy Calmer gave us Thunder plus 2 and the Sixers minus 3.5, and he's doubling up on that Thunder plus 2. LJ from H-Town gave us a Trill OG play today, OKC plus 2. Rocco Rogers gave us the NHL official period parlay, Tampa Bay Buffalo first period over 1.5, Edmonton Pittsburgh full game over at 5.5. And Dan Kelly told us that we can still move on the Wizards to make the playoffs. I'm interested in doing that. Brizzy making his season debut here in NBA with us. He's on Cleveland team total over 112.5. I'm going to move on the Cavs. Dan Kelly told us about how he's on Denver third quarter, how bad the Cavs have been third quarter at home and the road all year long, which kind of makes me want to go first half. Kind of does make me want to go first half, but I'm going to stay off at this point and stay on the full game. Then Celtics first quarter is Dan Kelly. Look, I'm interested in. Dan Kelly's also on the first half team total under 53.5 for the Pistons. I'm on Magic first quarter and first half. I expect to be. Again, when you double up spot on it, I'm going to go over the numbers again, make sure I'm confident enough for a double up spot. Brizzy's on the Sixers minus 3.5, minus 108 with Sammy Calmer. LJ's on the Raptors first quarter. Brizzy's on Green over 1.5 threes plus 106, and he laddered it to 2.5 at plus 350. Brizzy's on the Thunder. We're going to know exactly what the number is, but to win between 1 and 10 points, it's going to be somewhere between plus 170 and plus 185. Dan Kelly's on Golden State Warriors team total over 60. I'm starting to get a little bit of cold feet on this Lakers first quarter, but I'm going to study it a little more. And then Blazers, Kings, we are off. That, my friends, is our show. Thank you, Real Deal Prime, my man. Nunya's only locked in on Sacramento and 76ers money line as of now. Nasty Nate, Real Deal Prime, Jarek White, Rick J, Rez Mob, Dabby Cab, Robert Franklin, Nunya, J Dub. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. North Ender, Stimmy OG, Dabra Cadabra, Danielson. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Our 4-show winning streak came to a halt, not in a horrific way, but came to a halt. And I want to get right back onto the winning side of things. Nuke Worker is on Ohio State with me. I like that. J-Dub says a lot of bets for you today. It's a huge card, J-Dub. It's a huge, huge card. And, you know, it's been an excellent week if we go from, or 8 days, you know, from last Wednesday to this Thursday. So you're winning. Shoot or shoot. Let's take some shots, man. Let's get that fucking cash. And join us in San Antonio, baby. Got a big video coming out today. Real fun one. I think you guys are going to dig. Thank you for supporting the show. We'll be back in action tomorrow with Bobano and Dutch Boy Fresh. Roll that shit. Light that shit. Smoke it. Get that cash. Let's say, Halos bookmakers. Palooza 2 on the horizon. We're going to have live shows popping off at the Southtown 101. We're going to have a poker tournament, a par 3 golf tournament, UFC San Antonio on the Saturday night. A lot of excitement. Palooza 2, baby.